Hey.
Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
I wasn't doing the wave thing. What was the wave thing?
I said Jev's hands. They give you
fuck.
energy.
I was making my noise when you said that.
It wasn't the wave.
The Mexican wave, as you call it.
The Mexican wave.
Here we are, Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Once
with
again.
Gus.
Gavin.
Barbara.
And Burnie and
Gus.
And Gavin.
And Gus. But especially lots of Gus. So here we are for our podcast, our weekly ritual.
How does a hymen work?
oh, you are a fucking cocksucker.
Got done in with a bunch of tweets. It's like, oh, you don't know what how the hymen works. How does a hymen work?
How do you think it works?
Why didn't you look it up?
I don't know. Google hymen. I don't want to see that.
You've Googled way worse things.
Have I?
Can we give a little backstory to those people who missed the episode last week? Last week we told a story. Gavin was about to make a point, and I tried to steer you away from it because I could tell the point you were making.
I wanted to be close to that point.
And I pointed out that there was a really creepy article that somebody wrote years and years ago. It's actually a local film blogger. He was writing about a TV show, Heroes, how the young cheerleader, female character, teenage character, she had this ability to heal. That was her superpower. And he said it was like I don't know what he said, geek fantasy, that her hymen would grow back every time after sex. Yeah, okay. So that was the conversation we had. We pointed out this creepy thing this guy wrote on the net 10 years ago.
The way I thought it worked is
and then we got fucking hammered.
The hymen is some sort of skin, tissuey membrane thing that the first time you have sex is broken.
That is the myth, yes.
And then that's it. But apparently it doesn't break. Or everyone's been tweeting me that it moves.
So you do know how it works.
I've just been reading a load of dumb tweets.
Should you point out too that this is a uniquely female part of the anatomy?
Yeah.
You don't have one as far as I know.
Did I not mention that?
No, I don't
No,
think
it's
you did.
upper vag.
Does he have to mention that?
Listen, let's be clear.
Just so you know, I
We have to
don't
explain
have a
for clarity.
But I didn't. I just don't know how it works now. I thought I knew, but apparently it moves. I thought it broke. Does it break or does it move? Buddy Burns?
Look,
I didn't even want this conversation.
Nobody wants this conversation but you. Nobody wants it
I
but
thought
you.
it was broken because it's a.
Well,
thing
you're
of-
ignorant then, Barbara.
I don't know. I don't
I don't know.
examine.
I have no
after
idea.
it's done.
Right.
I'm not a doctor.
I am no smarter than I was last week then.
You got a lot of stuff tweeted at you, though.
Yeah.
So did you see, I read this right before. I'm changing the subject away from hymens, by the way. I don't know if you saw this, but I was reading right before we started the podcast.
Would that be
That the developers,
one step off?
the developers of the Candy Crush game have now filed a trademark on the word candy. They were approved for a trademark on the word candy in use in gaming, films, educational software, and clothing.
What?
So now they're going after every app on the App Store that has the word candy in it and issuing takedowns.
Well, that's
So they were awarded a trademark.
They were awarded. Yeah, they filed for it.
So there's a lot of different things here. You have a copyright on something, which means you created a work, and then the copyright applies to it. You can trademark something, which says this is our brand, and you trademark it. Then you can get a registered trademark, which is that's R with the circle. That's typically say when people file for a trademark, they're getting a registered trademark. If the U.S. government did not tell them it's a registered trademark, they're going to have a tough time defending that.
Yeah. So the filing was approved by the U.S. Patent and Trade Office or Trademark Office.
It's a registered trademark.
On Wednesday, and it is yep, they have it. Their claim for the trademark was approved.
So if there's
Now
a company
listen,
selling...
I'm not a lawyer. My gynecological skills are right on par with my lawyer skills, right there. But that's my understanding. They have that. They have approval. That means they have a registered U.S. trademark. And a trademark's a big deal because you can't fuck around with a trademark. You cannot use it there's style guides for anything that you have. Like when people put out a publication, or like for Ruby, we have a style guide that says, what yang looks like, what mice. I actually saw you come up with the whiteboard and move it down. I have premonitions. We have a Ruby style guide. Say, this is what Yang looks like. This is what she wears. This is how tall she is in comparison. We have all the characters lined up for all their height and all that stuff. They have the same thing with logos. But I've worked with companies before where you cannot alter a logo if it's a registered trademark because that, in a way, waters down the protections they have of being a trademark.
Yeah, even if it's just changing the color or putting an outline around it, you can't do any of that.
Can't do it. Change the font size. Change the distance between the graphic logo and the actual text. Can't do any of that stuff. So registered trademarks are a very, very big deal.
Now, can't use the word candy.
So someone who's selling cotton candy and it says that on the packaging, is that an infringement of that now?
It's just in movies, games.
Yeah, that's not covered by
apps.
it. So if they made a cotton candy app where you could make virtual cotton candy, then yeah, you'd be
So let
in
me get
trouble.
this straight. The company that makes over $1 million a day on their app, which is what Candy Crush makes, by the way,
Gavin's an asshole.
is going after people just for the fucking word candy.
So the trademark includes games and software, educational services, and clothing. So I guess filming, I was wrong about that.
Now
one.
listen. Now, so here's what they'll say. They'll say this is a registered trademark, and we have a registered trademark for candy, and they have an obligation to protect it, otherwise they could lose it, which is absolutely true. If you have a registered trademark, you see an infringement of it, you have to go after it, because if you let it go by and you knew about it, then other people can say, well, we can just use your trademark in any way that we please. So you actually do have kind of it's an onus to defend this thing and protect it. But if they just registered the goddamn thing, it's one thing to say we have to protect our trademark. It's nothing to go out and register one, get it, and then immediately start going after people.
Yeah. So, but the boggling one to me is clothing. Like, how does they get candy on clothing? So, like, what if you have like a candy bar on your on your shirt? It says candy bar. Can they go after you and tell you can't use candy bar or you can't use candy on that shirt?
I think it's okay to talk about this because it's all public record. When we filed our we have a registered trademark for Rooster Teeth and what's called the cockbite logo, which is the rooster and the teeth together.
But you don't own roosters.
But we don't own roosters.
Or teeth.
But we did register the trademark to be used.
Or the word rooster.
You had to say what you're going to use it for. And so we had to say we were going to use this logo was also going to be on clothing because it's one of the primary applications, at least from a merchandise standpoint. We put it on clothing. And we had one basically kind of argument filed against us. I don't know what the right word is. It's like an objection in a way, but it's not really formal. And there was another company that had roosters that they were using on clothing.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty famous brand.
Le Coq Sportif.
That's it. Yeah. And they said we use roosters on our clothing. And they might have just filed it to say, that this thing came up and they put like their mark in place saying we objected to this at the time. In case it becomes like a big deal when we started making Le Coq Sportif shirts. Yeah. You know what I mean? They could say, no, we objected at the time.
Le Coq Baitif.
Yeah.
By the Stoof.
So yeah, that's your lesson on registered trademarks and U.S. patent law for this week.
And Candy Crush.
Fucking, I'm sitting over here
And
so mad at
Hymas.
Gavin right now.
Why?
Because I specifically got you out of that conversation last week. I saw where you were headed with your dumb fucking comment.
And we're all disappointed in you.
I steered you away from it. And we still stepped in it as a result of you.
I wanted to talk about it.
Start the conversation. First thing we do get in the podcast this week, he fucking brings it up.
We're all very disappointed in you, Gavin.
You're just a jackass.
I wasn't here last week, so I appreciate him bringing it up.
I don't know how Hyman works, but I can tell you exactly how an asshole works. It wears a medium-sized shirt and drinks Red Bull.
No, that's a small. Come on.
That's how a women's medium. It wears a women's medium shirt and drinks Red Bull. That's how assholes work.
Delicious.
You should have seen how excited he was that he had a cold Red Bull this week. He's like, oh my God, there's a cold one. Do you normally just drink them room temperature?
No, I usually go to the other building and get a Red Bull.
Give me the.
They're
thing.
usually hidden in a secret spot.
Pass that to him.
I wasn't even gonna drink tonight, Gavin. You're making me drink.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So you were excited that there was a cold one here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that we had Red Bull in there.
Why don't you just get a
Yeah, apparently
water-
you never opened the fridge because you didn't know how to fucking close it either.
I didn't know there's a procedure in closing our fridge.
The fridge here in the annex has been broken for forever. I think since the day we got that fucking thing, and the door doesn't close right. So I think Brandon rigged up a strap of Velcro on it. So
Didn't they make an RT Life where they drop kick the thing to try to close it?
Brandon does.
Tara apparently rigged it up. Yeah, they did that RT Life.
I like Gus's reaction. You could hear it in his ear. He was getting, I did that.
So Kara rigged up some Velcro. So
like
anytime you close the door, you have to Velcro it shut. And you just went and grabbed your goddamn Red Bull and then just close the door.
I've literally never got anything out of that fridge before.
So how do you know there haven't been cold Red Bulls in the
I
past?
don't know. There might have been. I was excited.
There's a really disproportionate, happy reaction there.
Yeah. What is it with this company and stuff breaking day one and then just keeping it around?
What do you mean?
Like
We
what
did that
else?
with a safe for a while. There was a safe that got stuck shut.
We
And
paid
then-
$350 for the safe. That's why. That was years ago.
I forgot
It was
about
5
that.
years ago.
That was at the old office.
Yeah, Brandon was trying to get it open for 6 months or something, and then he was trying to return it or something. And
Oh, I know why. Because the safe broke day one, but it's like Brandon. It's like turn around and the safe's broken. And I say, did you put anything in the safe before the door broke? And Brandon goes, I don't know. It's it was literally in the last 2 hours. Did you put anything in that safe before the door on it broke? And he just couldn't answer it. So we had to figure out a way to A, to get in the safe to see if there was anything inside of it. And then B, the other problem was that how the fuck do you throw away a safe? It's not as easy as
If I remember, the handle broke, right? It had one of those handles you turn, and it's you turned it, and it just snapped off.
It was like a 90-pound little bitty safe made out of solid metal, except the handle was plastic.
Yeah.
And the gears that moved it were plastic,
So-
and it just stripped out.
what's difficult about throwing away a safe?
What do you
Where do
you
you
just
put it?
toss it in the dumpster?
Chuck it in a dumpster.
That's
you not?
You're so wrong.
What did we end up doing with it?
We chucked it in the dumpster. But
That's what I
after
thought.
a lot of due
Wait,
diligence,
why is that wrong?
We chunked it in the dumpster. It just seems wasteful to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's trash.
it's
Something
wasteful.
No,
like
I'm with
that
Gavin.
much metal
Broken.
in trash.
Yeah, it's broken. It's trash. You put it in the dumpster.
If a homeless guy can fix it, it's his.
I don't know. I feel like there's a better place to throw away like old furniture or like objects like that.
What, like your front yard?
I don't know.
Your front yard.
My front yard.
When I was in college, these guys drove through our front of our house. They drove through and they stopped in the front yard. They drove through our lawn. They stopped in the front yard. And there was a bunch of dudes in the back, and they had a full-size deep freeze, like a standalone freezer. And it was in the back of a pickup truck. And two dudes go, "Hey, what's up?" And we're like, "What the fuck, your lawn?" And they go, "Here you go." And they kicked the freezer out, and it landed in the front lawn. And then they just drove off. And we're like, "What the fuck,
And it's
you
been passed
dickheads?"
down from generation to
Did
generation.
it work?
No, it was fucking busted. They just wanted to get rid of it. So
It's like, it's your problem now.
that's the way we did it. And one of our guys was walking to the bus the next day and saw the guy's truck. So we drilled a hole all the way through the freezer, ran a big ass chain through the whole dumpster, and then chained it to the guy's grill. And somebody with a Sharpie on it wrote, "Hey, you dropped this."
Oh my god.
And we actually have video of the guy out there the next day, like looking at this thing, like, what
You
the
filmed
fuck?
him?
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
Where is that video?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody's got it. I don't have it.
I'd like that instead of calling the police and reporting him for dumping,
No.
you drilled a hole. That must have taken ages for a start. Drilling a hole.
Yeah, how
for
long
it.
was this car parked there?
Dude, let me tell you something. When I was in college, we get in fights, like 8 guys versus 8 guys. We get in fights in the middle of the streets, West Campus, like right by the university. Cops would show up, 8 guys brawling it out in the streets. They would go, "All right, come on, go home. Everybody. Never saw anybody get arrested. It made no sense to me.
It's a lawless place out over there.
It was completely and totally lawless. Absolutely.
Jeez.
I'm trying to think. There was another time, guys across the street, they were celebrating the Texas OU football game, so they built a miniature version of the UT Tower in their front lawn. And while there was like 60 of them out there building this thing, some other guys just drove through in a big ass Scout. You know, it's like a big 4-wheel drive, and they drove right across the guy's lawn. They didn't hit the tower, and everyone's watching them go. They all start chasing it, and I watched the guy get halfway. It's a big ass lawn. Got halfway across the lawn. Then all of a sudden his truck goes.
Oh my god.
His truck stalled in their lawn. They beat the shit out of that guy.
What made it stall?
I have no. A Scout is a
Karma.
shitty car. It's like, well, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people who have Scouts. You know, people fix them up and refurb them. They're awesome. You've seen them. They're like the It's almost like a jacked up, almost like a pickup truck with no roof. Sometimes people take the roof off a lot. But most of the people in college who had them, they were just like super old and
They're
shitty.
barely running.
Yeah, the guy's
Oh.
car stopped.
That's fucking awesome.
I remember some dude hitting the car with a fucking ball peen hammer, just going
Wow.
down every panel. Bing, 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 bing.
Like I guess he was working on the tower.
Yeah,
He just happened
and
to have.
he hit for whatever reason a ball peen
Because we
hammer.
were a bunch of hooligans back then.
Yeah, it was bad days. It was
Do you
bad
think shit like
days.
that? Shit like that still has to happen, right?
It probably does. It probably does. I don't know.
I feel
mean,
like people are so much more strict now about it.
we were at the end of it. We couldn't have keg parties anymore on West Campus. They wouldn't let us do that anymore. We'd have all canned beer.
In
I've
West-
never had a good experience.
Wait,
with
wait,
a
wait,
keg.
wait, wait, wait. Who wouldn't let you have a keg party?
So
in
this
West
is
Campus?
fraternity stuff I'm talking about now, which I very rarely talk about my fraternity days, but this is all fraternity stuff. And there was a group called the IFC. Am I saying that right? It was like the fraternity council for. I'm mixing up with the Independent Film Channel. It was the fraternity council for UT, and there was a thing called FIPG, which is the Fraternal Insurance Protection Group. So, but basically, what happened is somebody would go to a party. They would go to a keg party. They would get drunk. They would go home and they would hurt themselves. And then they would say, "These guys served me beer out of a keg. I didn't know how to drink, and it's their fault." It happens all the
Wow.
time. It happens all the time. But there was a couple dudes who pretty much got their lives ruined. I mean, first of all, somebody gets hurt, they probably got their life ruined. But then like a couple guys like who were college students at the time just basically throwing a party because it looks like a business and it looks like an organization when it's just a bunch of college kids. They would get sued. And like there would be a president of a fraternity who gets sued for a couple $1 million. And he gets landed with that coming out of college, which sucks. But also so does a guy, this is a real thing that happened. Dude got drunk at a party, went to UT. You know the Littlefield Fountain, which is the horses?
Yeah.
He fucking dove. He's so drunk he dove off one as a joke and dove into a fountain head first.
Isn't that fountain like a foot and a half
It's
deep?
like a foot and a half.
Did he
deep.
get paralyzed or?
He was hurt really bad.
Okay.
I want to say he wasn't paralyzed, but he was hurt really bad.
Shit.
And so he sued the guys that served him beer at a party.
You gotta sue someone, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that case in particular. So This fraternal insurance protection group or whatever it's called. What they would do is they would come in, they would insure the fraternities, but then they had all these rules like you can no longer serve alcohol at your parties. And basically what everybody did at the time was instead of having kegs, you had canned beer, so it looked like everybody brought beer to the party. And that's the way you do it.
Interesting.
So it was all that stuff. You know, it's basic college.
You couldn't just say everyone brought kegs.
Just wanting to drink.
You got attached to a keg one time.
I did.
I think that's an RT life. It was strapped to a keg by
That
a
wasn't
leash.
cool. Thanks for doing that. Whoever did that.
I can't really, I mean, fault anybody for doing something stupid when they're drunk. I broke my leg drunk one time. I jumped in a lake at night when I was drunk, and I landed on a 8-foot diameter metal drainage pipe that was this far below the water. They said they watched me jump in. It looked like it bounced off the water.
Well, you jumped into a lake. I mean, that's not as stupid as diving.
It was a
into
man-made
fountain.
lake in the middle of a neighborhood.
Okay, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
We were at a party. We all ran down the hill. We all jumped in.
Bong.
We all jumped in. This was in high school. We all jumped in, and then we got out, and then a bunch of people saw us jumping in. Wanted to jump in. They're like, "Geez," they all jumped in, all in the same spot.
No.
We missed this big drainage pipe, and I went to go jump in, and I thought, "Oh, I'm going to land these people. I'll jump here a little bit to the left," and I landed on the drainage pipe and broke. It's the only time I've ever broken a bone. 1 week before graduation, I had a girlfriend. She was at a church lock-in that night, and I didn't tell her I was going to a party. And how the fuck do you hide that? We
So,
went to the party at some girl's house.
How long did that last
I
after
broke
that?
my leg buying you flowers.
I was running to catch the flower
Shoving
guy.
roses
My girlfriend said,
in
I
your
heard you
womb.
broke your leg falling into a hot tub. And I was like, no, that's exaggerated. I said, we all got out of the hot tub to run down the hill, into the fucking lake. She broke up with me almost immediately.
So do you have to have crutches during your graduation?
I did.
Like
I
to
did.
go up accept your diploma?
I actually had a walking cast, and a bunch of my friends who, like, it was such a short amount of time at such a crazy point in your life, a bunch of my friends didn't know I had broken my leg yet. It just... It's like 5 days before graduation. Everybody's kind of doing stuff, and some guy was like, "I saw you up there. Like it looked like you were like strutting like that." So yeah, but I had broken my fucking leg.
Shit. That's the worst time.
I broke my ankle.
You ever broken any bones, Barbara?
No, I think I've only sprained all my fingers from playing basketball. Having the ball jam on it, not a good feeling.
Ugh.
What about you, Gavers?
Broke my schnoz when I was a kid.
We need to break it the other way, don't we?
Yeah.
What happened? How'd it get broken?
I was running out the back door and I tripped and fell on my face when I was about 3.
Wow.
And I don't think anyone knew that it was broken. I didn't even go to hospital. It just grew very bent. And they were like, "Oh, it's probably when you smashed your face."
That would do it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever broken anything. When I was a baby, I got dropped on my head and I got a
That
hairline
explains a lot.
fracture
Explains
in
a
my
lot.
skull. They said that the fracture's like from here, like all the way back here.
You've got a fractured skull.
My aunt dropped me on a door jam.
Oh.
And I fell like head first right onto the door jam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your dad's sister, your mom's sister.
My mom's sister.
Holy cow.
When you were a baby, did you have a giant head, like
Yes.
a bobblehead?
Yeah, I think I've said it before, but my
was trying
head.
to shave it
Someone
down.
dropped their phone. My head was so big that I had trouble learning how to walk as a baby because I was so imbalanced and I was so top heavy that my mom had to buy this giant balloon
Oh, yeah.
that I like used as a giant crutch to help me learn how to walk.
I bet you
with my
could run
head.
fast though. Like the forward weight of your head will make you just run.
It's like how fast do you have to run to keep up with a giant head?
Sometimes I wonder how much of my childhood I remember just because I've seen it on videotape. Because some memories I'm like, no, I legitimately remember that happening. But I'm like, well, it was filmed, so maybe it's just that I'm remembering. I don't know. How far back do you remember as a human?
I remember some stuff when I lived in Austin. I moved away from Austin when I was 3. And I remember like going to the Hancock Center and like waiting in parks like down by the courthouse.
But like any
downtown.
really specific memory?
Yeah. Like, I mean, they're all stupid. Like, what does a fucking 3-year-old do? I was walking around a goddamn giant tree at the Hancock Center, and that's how I was like running like an idiot at the park down by the fucking
With your
courthouse.
big yellow balloon?
You have my big yellow balloon.
I'm ruined because I asked someone this once, and I can't remember whether their story is my story or mine is theirs.
Which
Cool.
story is it?
Because
you have like a collaborative memory over time?
Like
what
you
is
don't
it?
remember if you just heard it from them? or
yeah,
if
like
it's
I
your
remember.
memory?
I kind of remember being sat in a bookcase with a glass door and like closing myself in it when I was about 2. I don't know if that was me now though, because someone might have told me that. I have no idea.
You really don't know if it was you?
No.
How early in life did they tell you this? Was it like last week they told
No.
you?
Hey, remember the
So,
time
wait,
you
what
were
are you
2?
confused? Like, you think it happened to your friend, and your friend told the story?
Yeah, I just can't remember.
Why did you ask your friend?
Do
I
you
don't remember
have
which
any
friend it was.
friends who have that story?
I don't remember which friend. I could ask everyone in my life.
Do it
if
right
they,
now.
Hey, did you? Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Go on Facebook.
I could do it on
Make a
Facebook.
post. Sup, peeps?
But maybe then I'd reset everyone else's first memory, and everyone would
No.
remember sitting in a bookcase.
That's how it works.
What about you? How far back do you remember, Barbara?
I remember when I was 4, when I was blowing bubbles outside my front house in Montreal.
You have no memory before you were 4.
Nope.
Like memory
Not at
when
all.
you're young is a weird thing. Like I read some article about it the other day. I don't remember what the premise was because I disagreed with it. But I feel like when you're that young, since you don't have language yet, there's no way to store the memory. It's like how can
images? You remember images,
Right, but how do you describe the image if you don't have language to?
Well, how
Wait until you develop language and you tell people what it was. I mean,
you're just
Is that
sat
the
there
way it
for
works?
2 years thinking of this image, and then finally you know how to describe it. I
really.
saw this great thing 2 years ago.
Yeah. I think I was in a cabinet.
No,
glass door.
You don't need language to remember an image.
That'd be funny if everything worked that way. Like if we didn't know, we couldn't call the pyramids anything because they were built before they had English. So we just, when we got to that word, we would just have to give like a blank, like, you know.
Well, the idea of like a bunch of people finishing something like the Great Pyramids, and they're like, "What's that?" It's like,
We'll choose later.
They have other words for it. Big building, tomb.
Big building.
Triangle.
I want to build a big building.
But someone who doesn't know how to speak, if you show them 3 images, and then show them one again, they can.
There's
point
absolutely no correlation between language and memory. There's no
I think there is because you can't store those memories without ways to describe.
How do dogs learn tricks?
Dogs have memory. Oh, you say what you're saying. They don't, but they learn language. You repeat the word over and over until they learn what that word means.
So you think that until something learns to speak, it has no memories?
Until it knows how to identify.
What about like the feral people they find, like in the woods?
What's this?
The people go off in the woods and they live forever.
Scum.
Like a kid that escapes.
A kid that escapes. Has that ever really truly happened?
I'm sure it has.
I don't know. I always feel like those are myths.
Who's that Jodie
I don't know if
Foster
there's
movie?
any-
Nell.
People have been raised by wolves.
Has there ever really been a truly documented, authentic case of
Have
that
you
happening?
never
Or
seen
is that just
Tarzan?
word of mouth?
No, I think it's real. I think they did a documentary
You
about
think
the
it's
kid.
real or you know it's real? I'm asking.
No, I've not seen the
I'm
documentary.
saying I
think
know
there is
people
one.
say that it's a
All
real
right.
thing.
Nell is a 1994 American drama film starring Jodie Foster as a young woman who has to face other people for the first time after being raised by her mother in an isolated cabin. Never mind, she was with the mother. So
Should
doesn't
have
even
been
matter.
another human.
But anyway, a deaf person who
I don't know how a baby would escape. That would be tough for a baby to just like get loose
It just rolls out of its crib all the
Yeah.
way down the road.
or just gets forgotten about.
a deaf person who
That's a
never
lot sadder.
learned any sign language of any sort
Go ahead.
would still be able to identify images and remember things based on the sight.
Yeah,
For example,
I absolutely agree.
you eat a nasty minging apple, and then later on you see a lovely apple and a minging apple. You're going to eat the nice one. You're not going to eat the gammy apple again, and you don't know what it's called, but you'll just think, yeah, I won't go for
Fair
it.
play.
Yeah. Like if you get out a foghorn and blast at your
impressed.
dog without saying a word, you just, I'm like Pavlov's dog. Ring the bell. The bell's not language.
But it's not a memory.
Dog knows
But I
about
think
it.
Also,
isn't-
some dogs react to like you pointing at things or doing some sort of like motion.
But
you know,
that's language in a
I
way,
read
though.
a really weird thing, a
Yeah,
really
that's
weird
true.
fact about Pavlov's dogs. Like,
Pavlov's dogs.
like all his, hold on, Pavlov's dogs, they were killed?
what?
Yeah, it was in the, it was like in the World War II, Russian invasion of Germany, like, or back and forth in the fighting on that front, the Eastern Front. Something about Pavlov's dog, it came up in like today I learned.
What's Pavlov? What is he talking
Pavlov's
It's the
ring the
dog.
bell and feed the dog.
about? Oh, okay.
They salivate because they learn to associate the ringing of the bell with food.
They did a joke like that in The Office with Dwight.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Whenever he had the window
Pavlov's
shut down.
dogs were eaten during the siege of Leningrad.
Wow.
It would be every time.
That's a little
he
depressing.
That's
Sorry.
that's kind of a
started
downer.
His computer
Yeah, a little
up.
bit. I bet they remember that.
Did they ring a bell when they served them?
Why does it look like that?
Pavlov's dogs, the main one in the experiment is actually, I guess, it's stuffed. You can actually see Pavlov's dogs.
Oh, really?
That's Pavlov's dog.
Oh.
It even has the little sensor in its mouth for the salivary thing.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What? So it still dribbles?
No, it's dead. It's
What do you mean
taxidermy.
it still has something in its mouth for the...
It has
sensor
the, it
that they
has
use
the
to measure
sensor
it.
there to preserve what the experiment was.
Oh.
Do you know what this is? You guys know what Pavlov?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know
I can't
there was
say
a
the name.
sensor.
Right. I can't say it right
Pavlov.
one time, but yeah, you know, right?
What about... Did they stuff Schrodinger's cat?
I don't think they did. I don't think they ever found Schrodinger's cat.
Would you ever stuff an animal or a pet that you had? If you die?
Nah.
I think that's
bit
really
weird.
creepy.
I think it's really creepy.
It makes me think of that old story we talked about forever ago, like when we first started the podcast, about the dude who died in Puerto Rico, then had himself like embalmed
Nope.
himself embalmed in a way where I think he could be moved. So at first, like during his wake, they stood him up in the corner, like with sunglasses on and his arms crossed, holding a beer and like a cigarette. And then they like moved him to where he was on his motorcycle. And then they put his helmet on, and like everyone posed with like their final pictures with him.
That's so creepy.
That's quite a common thing in some places, I think. In Africa and stuff, they do that.
Really?
There was a Carl Pilkington documentary where he was helping someone do that. It was like an old woman, and she was dead. They dressed her up and like sat her at a table, and she was just like pretending to be doing something with like tea or something.
She was pretending to be doing something?
I don't know. She was dead. She wasn't really doing it.
She was posed to be doing something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you hear about the serial killer in, I think it was North Korea? Actually, I don't remember where. But they had him like cased so people could see that he was dead.
Cased?
Because he was so feared by so many people that they wanted to see like proof that he was actually dead.
Was it Kim Jong-il?
No.
Well, that's fucked up. I get it though. I mean,
it must have been from a really long time ago. It's like this disgusting
Who's the
corpse
new,
that you could see in a glass box.
Kim Jong-il?
Kim Jong-un.
So if we were to slag him off, would we be in danger?
South Korea would.
South Korea would?
Yeah.
Oh.
Their soul is like within artillery strike range of North Korea.
But if we talk a bunch of crap about him, they can't
Oh, I
kill
see
us.
what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. They might be able to hit Hawaii.
Okay. Well, for the sake of
did you
Hawaii,
hear-
I won't
so-
slag him off.
A couple weeks ago, there was that upheaval, I guess, in Kim Jong-un's inner circle. He ordered the execution of his uncle.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumor of how it was done?
Well, didn't they feed him to dogs or something?
Yeah, that they took him and like some other people, and then they fed him to a pack of like 40 dogs that had been starved for 3 days.
Ugh.
But I think I don't know that that's 100% true. There's really no way to verify.
It's fucking disgusting.
But I've seen other documentaries about North Korea where people who escape the prison camps in North Korea talk about how that's a common torture
Good
and
God.
like way that they kill
Imagine
people.
being a dude stepping out of that with just 40 dead dogs behind you. Just like, that was rough.
My arms are super tired.
No one's ever going to believe that. Yeah, that's fucked up. So in happier news, I saw today that J.J. Abrams announced that the script for the new Star Wars is finished, and
roughest segue ever.
they're
by
going
the
to
way. I'm
begin
gonna nominate
shooting
this
in
for
May.
podcast.
The more you bring it up, the rougher it gets.
All right.
was just like,
I gotta point out you went from dogs ripping dudes apart to finishing the Star Wars.
I
what
don't,
do you wanna
I don't
talk
blame you
about?
for
I don't
skipping
know,
that.
but I appreciate you getting off the topic. But man,
So
Maybe
filming is going to, I don't appreciate getting fucking dragged back into it.
Sorry.
But filming is going to begin in May. I guess they're going back to the UK to continue to film.
now, Gus,
Pinewood?
you are a J.J. Abrams fan.
Yes.
You have liked a lot of his TV shows in
Um,
particular. You liked Alias.
Yeah, I've liked a lot.
You like
I liked
Lost?
some of his TV shows. I feel like he's done some other stuff I wasn't a big fan of. I can't think of him right now.
Super 8.
No, he did the Fringe. I was not a big Fringe fan.
Oh, he did that one?
Really?
I think he was the executive producer and co-creator.
It was popular.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, but yeah. But yeah, I liked a lot of the stuff.
Also,
that he's done.
J.J. Abrams is like, his name gets attached to a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily know that he's a driving creative force behind
Yeah,
it.
like with Lost, I think he helped
Right.
early on, like with the concept for the show, and I don't think he did much beyond that.
Well, that's all he ever does, isn't it? Just start stuff off and then start another thing.
Well, I mean, he
Not-
does films.
no. I don't think that's what he did with Star Trek.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what he did
like
with
TV
Super
shows
8.
and stuff.
I mean, maybe he focuses more on the feature stuff.
yeah.
But how do you feel? Are you excited about
I'm
it?
super
JJ?
excited. I
Okay.
mean, I think he did such a good job with Star Trek. I really, even though a lot of people I think talk shit about the second Star Trek movie, I thought it was.
I liked
fine.
it.
I really
good.
liked it too.
People really did not like that second Star Trek movie.
I loved it, but I wasn't really an original movie fan.
Let's say check Twitter.
Do you
and see
find
what
you're
there's-
really picky when it comes to movies?
Maybe no. Maybe not movies. No. I guess I'm not. I tend to like. I just saw Disney's Frozen today. You said you didn't like it. I
What?
thought it was fucking
A
great.
load of toot.
Really?
Yeah.
I really want to see this
Bloody
movie.
just-
How did they have a clip
Boring.
of Frozen ready?
Because I think
I
we
was
were talking about
yakking
it
about
before
it.
the podcast.
Okay.
But also, no. Props to them for getting together.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
really liked
sucker
it a
for
lot.
all Disney, Pixar, any animated movie like that.
The Snowman
I
was
love all
funny.
of them.
I still haven't seen it.
But it was just a toilet movie. Boring.
Oh, you got a
made
text
it.
or something.
Pudding.
Probably someone
Why
telling
don't
him
you
that he's
fucking
an
silence that
idiot.
thing?
Yeah, my bad.
Fucking idiot. So yeah, I'm really excited to see a J.J. Abrams Star Wars movie. But I feel like I have to temper my expectations after being hurt with the previous 3 Star Trek movies. I'm sorry, Star Wars movies. So
Wait, you didn't like those?
no, I was not a fan.
Really?
So I'll enter with tempered expectations.
I gotta say that in particular, I know Star Wars, the new trilogy, episodes 1, 2, and 3, get a lot of flack for a lot of things. The most egregious thing to me in all the Star Wars movies is how much the episode 1 trailer gave away of the Phantom Menace. Because we've been waiting 20 years for that movie to come out. And,
Well, what did it give away that we didn't know?
The biggest thing it gave away, it's one of the biggest reveals I've ever seen in a trailer that's in the movie.
Oh, wait.
Let me guess what you're going to say. The double-sided lightsaber?
If they hadn't shown Darth Maul's double-sided lightsaber, the dual blade one, that would have been one of the greatest moments in that movie. And but we were all expecting it. We all knew it was coming.
Does he deploy it both sides at once, or does he pull out?
No, at
like,
first
one and
he's
then it
fighting
comes
with
out?
one.
Yeah.
And then like he does that spin and spins away and then like does the thing where the other side comes out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. That would have been cool.
It
I
is
like
a
how
huge
excited you
moment.
got.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it was
zoom in on
awesome.
him and he goes like that, and you're like, oh my god, it's double-bladed light sword. Or lightsaber. But they show it in the fucking trailer.
But they also had like a ton of toys and stuff, which would have given it away too, wouldn't it?
That's maybe a good point, Gavin.
Like
Yeah.
McDonald's had a load
Aw,
of
Gavin.
Happy Meal stuff.
That's a really good point. There was a lot of merchandise that came out
don't
before that
think
Or
we
movie.
could've hidden it.
unhappy meal in his case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would have been. Well, that's one of the weirdest reveals ever. I don't know how many people who watch this podcast would have been people who watched Inspector Gadget as a cartoon when it was on TV. Did you watch Inspector Gadget? You watched Inspector Gadget? Okay, the villain in Inspector Gadget is Dr. Claw, and he's just a dude sitting in a chair with a cat, and he's like,
You just see his hand.
Dr. Claw, right?
And he's the scariest motherfucker of all time.
And he's scary as shit.
Yeah.
Do you know that they revealed Dr. Claw's face? He was a McDonald's Happy Meal toy. And then that's how they revealed that character after all these years. They showed the actual
McDonald's.
Dr. Claw. Yeah, I'll see if
On
I
a
can find
toy.
it.
That's
look at-
really weird.
Yeah, look up like Dr. Claw.
How do they even have an image for what he looks like?
I guess
It's
they
never
just made
shown.
it and they gave it to him. So there's a Dr. Claw action figure. And they
Bullshit.
specifically didn't show this guy all
What
that
do you
time.
think is the coolest character whose face you never saw in anything?
That's a good question.
Jenkins. Red versus Blue.
Touche.
I mean, they did it for a long time in the Bond movies with Blofeld.
I
Didn't
would
see his
say
face for a long time.
Nathan from the RT Comics.
Is
That
it
guy
this
is
like
cool.
white-haired dude?
Yeah, he's just dumb.
Yeah,
That's Dr. Claw.
I'll see if I can.
There's a weird illusion here. I have a red shirt on. I have a red pillow behind me. It looks like there's like my shirt's coming through my side. Here. I'll get this out of the way.
I'm gonna see if I can put this here for the stream to see.
Pulling up Dr.
That
Claw.
did not work.
But that's a really weird way to reveal something that they purposefully obscured for many, many years. Yep, that's Dr. Claw.
The fuck?
That's Dr. Claw. I always assumed he looked like Destro from
looks like-
G.I.
It
Joe.
looks like Colonel.
Yeah, he got that middle hand.
I thought he was all metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, that's him. Just
He
some
looks like
dude.
an evil Santa Claus.
So you were talking about
Santa Claus.
the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer giving away too much, and it made me think like what a weird time that was for movie trailer distribution. Because I remember when that trailer came out, if you wanted to watch it online, if you wanted to see it like bigger than the small size, you had to have QuickTime Pro
You had to
on
pay.
the Apple website.
You had to
Yeah,
pay for QuickTime Pro.
then you had so if you didn't have it, you could only watch the trailer like super small.
Man.
Or
Wow.
if you own, if you paid $20.
I've never
for
heard of
QuickTime
needing
Pro.
QuickTime Pro just to watch a bigger file.
Yeah, obviously they were trying to figure shit out back then.
Yeah.
It didn't catch on. I'm glad that that's not the case anymore. Can you imagine paying to watch a fucking commercial?
Yeah.
Well, wait. You used to do sponsorships to pay, where you had to pay to watch something bigger.
No, but this was paying to watch a commercial. It's like
Movie trailers are commercials.
right,
I guess so.
Advertising the movie.
totally different.
Yeah.
Don't knock it.
Okay.
Here, let me read this thing. I want to remind everyone that this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by.
You know there's a Lego movie coming out? Like in a week and a half?
I saw a trailer for that the other day, and when I first started seeing the trailer, I thought this looks like the dumbest thing in the world. And then by the time the trailer was done, it's like I am absolutely going to watch that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, I fell in love with those Lego Batman and Lego whatever superhero games.
Lego Batman and Lego Superman are in it, as is Lego Wonder Woman.
So it's just a Lego CG movie.
Just a Lego movie. It actually looks like stop motion Lego, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
Looks
the
that
thing
good.
I saw, because the frame rate's kind of wonky.
What's the target audience for that? Like kids?
Yeah, probably.
I assume so, right? It's not like some sort of
Wow,
adult movie.
Barb's a great marketer. Who should we target with a Lego movie? How about kids?
But like really, really little kids or like teenagers?
No, I
Then in
gotta
a few
say,
years,
as
they're going
someone,
to get Christopher Nolan to reboot it. It's going to be really dark and gritty.
I played the hell out of Lego games with JD, like his whole life. We've played Lego games. I mean, it's like, I like those games as much. I'm like you. I liked all the characters and everything. They do a good job. To me, Lego, especially, is it Traveler's Tale? I was going to mix it up with Telltale. Traveler's Tale, who makes the Lego games, they are like, to me, on the level with like Warner Brothers Looney Tunes of making humor that kids appreciate, but then adults have a different layer that they like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's very few people who can do that on that level.
So it's got Green Lantern, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Oh, it actually does look
Batman.
like a photo of Lego.
It's got Liam Neeson. It's got
Does he die?
It's got
Morgan Freeman.
It's got a lot of people: Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, Alison Brie, Elizabeth Banks, Chris Pratt, Morgan Freeman, Will Ferrell,
Shit, they went all
Liam
out.
Neeson.
Holy crap.
I always wonder when they put those big casts together, is it like, who's the first person who says yes? You know, is it like, because if you get that one first person like Morgan Freeman, then everybody else is like, oh yeah, I'll be in it. You know, I mean, if they said, hey, you want to be in a movie with Morgan
I'm
Freeman?
sure,
Sure.
all those guys played Lego as kids or have kids that play Lego. So
Yeah.
they're probably all up for
But
it.
there's got to be the first person they get, right?
My guess would be Morgan Freeman.
We're getting a lot of confirmation apparently that it is stop motion. So people are saying it's a combination of stop motion, stop motion and CG.
Wow, that must have taken forever.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing
Any
that.
stop motion does.
Yeah, but with Lego, they're tiny. I guess
Have
they're
you ever
big.
seen that
Think about,
White
like,
Stripes
clay.
music video that's all done with Legos?
Oh man,
I fell in love with the girl.
That's crazy.
It was like, I think the director and his son did that. I think it said it took him like 2 or 3 months.
But it's a little different than Legos. It's like they treat Legos like pixels.
Yeah.
It's really different. The way
Yeah,
they
so
do
it's
it.
not like stop motion. It's like they build a frame, deconstruct it, rebuild it,
Oh, wow.
deconstruct it,
And with
rebuild
Lego,
it.
that's the worst.
Yeah.
'Cause some pieces get stuck. It's like your nails get
The,
all fucked up and
I
jacked.
remember the Sledgehammer music video, the Peter Gabriel video. It took like, I think it took like 800 hours to make or something. And a lot of it he was in himself. He was just lying down with his face through a thing while people stop motioned around him. And I think it just took forever.
But it was
I
a
remember that.
wildly popular video.
Really cool video. It's always in those top 20 music videos of all time. Thriller's always number one.
Yep.
Naturally.
And they always put "Video Killed the Radio Star" just for like historical
They also
perspective.
put that Blur song, Coffee and TV, with a little milk carton that walks around.
Oh yeah, that one is always in there. And that one of my favorite music videos of all time is what's the one? Closing Time. Who makes that? That's not Sonic Youth.
Semisonic.
Semisonic. Thank you. Yes. You ever seen that one? Closing Time. I thought it was a really well done video.
As much as I've heard that song, I've never seen the music video.
You guys should watch the music video. It is it's basically it's split screen down the middle, vertical, and they tell 2 stories. They're telling one forward and one in reverse, and then they meet in the middle.
Oh.
And then the frame goes away. The split screen goes away. It's really cool.
There's a similar video I've seen that that Michel Gondry directed for some Japanese pop group. I forget what their name was, but it's the same thing where it's like there's a story on the left side and a story on the right side. The one side's going forward in time, the other one's coming backward in time. They meet in the middle and then swap.
I think that's what I'm thinking about. This one does that. The Semisonic video that I'm thinking of does that. Has 16 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that video.
I really like-
It's no Gangnam Style, but it's close.
Dude, Gangnam Style's about to break 2 billion.
What's it
views.
at? Is it still like at 1.8 billion? It's been at like 1.8 billion for a long time.
Still a fucking big number.
I should have done this for RT Life, but I did this joke the other day where I was curious what Gangnam Style's views were, and they were like at 1.9 billion at that point, or maybe 1.8. And I had that up on my screen, and Carrie came over to ask me a question. And I go, hey, come here. I go, have you seen this? And Carrie comes over, he's like, what? And he's like looking at my screen, and I play Gangnam Style, and he's like, he watches it for like 30 seconds. He's like, this Gangnam Style. I go, it's fucking funny. It's good. And he goes, it's Gangnam. It was like, and so I did that to like 4 other people that day. I was like, hey, you gotta check this out. Check out this video. Look at this. This is fucking hilarious.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And
Why didn't you film that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That would have
should
been
have.
perfect.
It's 1.88 billion.
Yeah. I think it was like 1.85 when I saw
How
it
fast
the
did
other day.
it get 1 billion?
Like
months?
7 or 8 months, I think.
Shit.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
I think if I ever didn't do this, I would want to be a director of music videos. They were always the most fun thing to work on when I was.
We should make a music
slim away.
video.
We just made a music video. We just made one for Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, I mean with us.
We have no musical talent, though. That's the problem.
Speak for yourself.
So you got to find what's your musical talent.
I have 0 musical talent.
That's right.
Actually, when the Bare Naked Ladies thing came up, I was like, we were like going to pitch ideas. I can't think in that format. I can't think of like the intercut 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes with telling a story but showing other things and including it. Like Matt came up with that
really?
entire thing for.
Whenever
Bare
I
Naked
hear a
Ladies.
song, I picture music videos.
No, I think I could do that too, but it's different than like we're gonna make this video.
Right.
And like there were a couple different ideas, and I was looking at like 3 or 4 of them. Like I would pick any one of these. I can't wrap my mind around it. But Matt has, that Matt can play like 10 different instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just, I always trust him a lot more when it comes to music and stuff like that. And I was just like, and he was very excited to do it. And I was like, I'm very happy that you're going to do this because this would be a lot of fun. And it was a blast. And the video turned out great.
Yeah. He's even got a keyboard and a guitar amp in his office. And
That
a
is
guitar.
First of all, it's not a keyboard.
What
That's
is
a
it?
digital piano.
It's a digital piano. I was going to say piano, but it seems small.
Ever since I don't have an office. Like I haven't had an office here in 2 years because we got so crowded that
You have
You're
a
homeless.
desk now.
I moved out of my office. But now I have a desk. I didn't have a desk.
You've been everywhere. You text me recently saying, "Hey, did I leave this piece of paper on my desk?" And I was like, "Let me go and check." I walked around and I didn't know. I was like, "Where is your desk now?" I just had no idea where it was.
Yeah. But so when I moved out of my office, I lost my digital piano to Matt because I was going to learn how to play piano.
Oh, that's your digital piano.
That's my digital
So
piano.
does Matt know how to play?
Yeah, he does. That's why it's in his office.
it's probably
It's actually
better
being
used
used.
Did you ever put that
It
video
definitely
out
is.
of him blowing out a match from like across the room?
I think that was one of the first like stupid behind the scenes live action things I did. I put
Never
up on
seen
my
that.
journal. Matt,
He was the only one who could do it.
Matt's big instrument that he played for a long period of time was a jazz flute. No, it was saxophone. And so he had this thing that I learned he could do where he could blow out a match at arm's length, which I couldn't do at that point in time when we met in
Which is
college.
actually really hard. Like, I'm
It
sure if you're listening to
sounds
this,
easy.
you think, oh, I can do that. You can't.
Can we get some matches?
Anyway, that's where
Yeah, I kinda wanna try it now.
we started. Then I learned that Matt could blow out a match from almost across the room. He just can direct his breath like he just goes like that, and the match goes boop, and goes out.
Do that again?
I can't even do it. I can't even do it the way he does it. It's like a huff. It's not even like I go like that. He goes. He goes. Poof. Dude, I saw a guy.
man.
Apparently,
It's like magic. It's like Gandalf, you
You've
know,
seen it,
casting
right?
a spell. Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things that sounds stupid. And you guys were making fun of me, and I went out and got matches to show you this. And sure enough, Gus is like got a match right here. He's going.
It was really hard.
And then Hullum, you just stand like 10 feet away from him. He blows out the match.
We
I
filmed
really
this.
want to see this now.
It's
We
pretty
filmed
fucking
a,
impressive.
We
Seen
filmed a
actually?
slow mo once where we were trying to blow out a match before it finished igniting. Like all the crap that. What's the stuff? The stuff that ignites?
Striker?
The stuff on the tip of the match.
Oh, phosphorus?
Yeah.
Okay,
We were trying to blow it out before it finished
Okay, igniting.
doing it, and we couldn't. But it looked pretty cool. I don't think I ever put that out though. It's like 3 years ago.
Is it possible to do that? Could
I don't know.
Can you blow hard enough to put it out?
It's
Or
based
does
off human reaction.
or does the phosphorus
In
like
slow
burn
mo,
so
the
quickly? Yeah.
flame would completely go away and then just come back. It's weird.
It might be the phosphorus. You might not be able to stop that reaction once it starts.
Just keep blowing as you're like lighting it.
Yeah,
Just or maybe get a can of compressed air and
Oh,
just like
that's a
be
good
blowing
idea.
on it as you do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's flammable though, isn't it?
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
Don't
might
do
be.
that. Don't.
Yeah, find like actual air and not a can of air. Maybe you can do it that way. Good call. I would have fucking burned the shit out of my hand. The safety of Mr. Gavin Free over
There
here.
you go.
Ever since you went to the lab, you're all professional
Always
now.
thinking ahead. Wear goggles as well.
Wear goggles. Wear a lab coat.
Do you have any musical talent? Gav?
No.
And you guess? I don't
Oh
know.
God, no.
I don't know why I'm
No.
asking you.
I'm awful.
So I wonder, does a musical talent and does it affect your musical taste at all? Like, what is do you have like
I'm not interested in music.
You're not interested in music?
No, not really.
I love 80s music.
Really?
I think it's because I was raised in the early 90s and my parents just listened to 80s music constantly. I just love it.
Easily my favorite genre.
Classic stuff.
Give me an example.
All right, Phil Collins is good.
Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Like Susudio?
I like the soundtrack to The Labyrinth.
Soundtrack to the
Bit of
Labyrinth.
David Bowie. It's all
Oh, yeah?
good, man.
You like Bananarama, Venus, the Go-Go's?
Wait, not like 80s pop, new wave.
Is it late 80s or
Punk.
early 80s?
I would say middle to late.
Middle to late
What's
80s?
your favorite genre, Bernie?
I don't have any musical talent, but I listen to whatever.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
do
really
too.
I'm a nightmare for people who like music. I'm one of those people that if I hear a song I like, I'll listen to that one song over and over and over again for like 2 weeks, and then never listen to it again.
Yep.
I'm like everybody's nightmare.
You have
and
to
I
like
recognize
get it out of your system.
I pretty much do, and then I'm like, I hate this song.
Is there anything you won't listen to?
No, I don't think so. I'll
Gavin
pretty much
talking
listen to
about
anything.
hymens.
I'll pretty much say there's a long
I
time I
don't
wouldn't
like.
listen
I don't like screamo.
show tunes, maybe.
Oh, I can
But
do shit tunes.
That being
Screamo.
that being said, the Les Miserables soundtrack for the movie was fucking awesome.
That movie was really good.
Was
I
it
went in
really?
expecting to not like it.
I did
that
not
movie was
expect that to
fucking
come out of
good.
my mouth.
Did,
I was blown away.
Liam Neeson get cut up by a lightsaber?
Yeah, Darth Maul made a surprise appearance in the third act of Les
Yeah,
Mis. It was out of nowhere.
crazy.
They did not give that one away in the trailer.
And I thought Anne Hathaway and Hugh Jackman were surprisingly good singers.
Didn't they
Russell
do all that
Crowe.
live?
Yeah, they performed live at the Oscars together. Those
Did
two.
they?
Mhm. When
Hugh
Hugh
Jackman's got a
Jackman
history
hosted.
of Hugh Jackman has a history of live performance though.
Yeah.
Like he was a big dude in Australia before he broke through in the US. What was his breakthrough? Hugh Jackman.
X-Men.
I don't
No, it
think
was
so.
before that.
Really?
Wasn't he
Should've
in
been before
the? No, he wasn't. Who was? What was that movie? Hurly Burly. That wasn't him, was it? That was the
You're
other
thinking
guy.
of the Irish dude, Colin Farrell.
That's right. That was Colin Farrell, I think.
Yeah.
That guy is a stink pot.
Well, you don't like him?
Yeah, awful movies.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Just bad
I'm
actor.
trying to think of a bad Colin Farrell movie that I've seen.
I don't like, what's his name? Colin Firth?
You don't like Colin Firth? What's wrong with
Yeah.
Colin Firth?
Colin Firth's dreamy.
He's the dude from everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
King's English.
He's
What's
not a
the
fan.
thing about the
King's Speech?
King's Speech.
Darcy.
I don't know. I've just
He's Darcy twice.
he always feels like he's bored in a movie.
Nah.
Or
That's
just
the
like
character he
not
plays.
emoting.
He's a bit prim.
Yeah, I don't know.
A
I'm
little
not a
bit.
fan. I prefer some other actors.
Yeah. It's too prissy for you?
Too
Get it?
prissy.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get it. Fair enough. Curly hair. I know how it works.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm looking through Hugh Jackman's, I guess, career here.
All right, Jack.
X-Men was like the first big thing I think he did in the U.S.
Gavin, we
Yeah.
stand corrected. I want to issue a retraction on what I said to Gavin earlier about him being incorrect. He was obviously correct.
He did a bunch of shit I've never heard of. I guess it's all like Australian TV shows.
Yeah.
Was he in Neighbours?
He was in their
Neighbours.
soap opera
No.
down there for years and years.
He was in
I feel like everyone's
Law
been
of the
in Neighbours.
Land, Corelli, Blue Healers, Snowy River, The McGregor Saga, Halifax FP, Paperback Hero, Erskineville Kings,
Was he in
Oklahoma, and then X-Men.
Yeah, definitely X-Men was a breakout then.
He was offered a role in the popular soap opera Neighbours, but declined.
Are you serious?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the Australian version of it. He turned it down
The Australian version of what?
to attend the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts of Edith Cowan University in Perth, Australia. No, I don't want to go on a soap opera. I think I'll go to Perth for a few years and study. That's what I
Wasn't
do.
he in a movie called Australia?
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
With no, that's Nicole Kidman, and is it Hugh Jackman?
I know it's Nicole Kidman. I don't know who the male lead in that was.
I recently read that Viggo Mortensen, when they were shooting Lord of the Rings, he would get in costume and he would travel on foot for days to get to the location so that he looked travel worn.
Didn't he also like not bathe or something ridiculous like that?
I think he got really into character.
I've heard he's very
Yeah.
natural.
There was also a moment in the first or the second movie where he gets annoyed and he kicks a helmet and then screams. But he was screaming because he broke his foot when he kicked the helmet. Like I think he
broke his toes. I
he
think
broke his toes. Yeah, he broke 2 toes, and the reaction was like, because he just lost the other 2 hobbits, the annoying ones. What are they called?
Marion Pippins.
There you go. Those have been gone.
The other 2 hobbits. You know Django Unchained?
Yeah.
Have you all seen it?
Yeah.
You know the part where Leo DiCaprio like slams his hand down on the
Leo.
table and has
Yeah.
blood coming from his hand? He actually smashes the glass and starts to bleed, but keeps going with the scene.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Good actor though.
Yeah. You know, I just saw Spike Jonze movie Her, which Gus really likes and recommends to all of our podcast viewers. Big fan.
Did not. I saw American Hustle the other day.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It was okay.
That was a lot of people's reaction that I know.
I feel like the hype around it is much. It's a lot. There's a lot of hype around that movie, and I think it's just an okay movie. It's
Okay.
nothing like super.
I heard that
amazing.
exact same review from my hairdresser this weekend.
I've decided.
She said she did not like it.
Oh, really? She didn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the movie, but
She was like disgusted by Bradley Cooper's acting.
I thought I hate Bradley Cooper.
Why?
I thought he was really good in American
Really?
Hustle.
What's to hate?
I don't know. I just feel like he's got a smug face. There's something like that he's done. It's just like I feel like he just has a very smug face.
I think it's great.
all the time.
I love
but
a smug.
I thought he was really good. in
Is it
American
because you saw
Hustle.
Wedding Crashers and he was a fucking douchebag in that movie?
I think Hangover made up for that though. Like everyone got to know the
that's
good
true.
side.
I still don't think of him as being an Alias. That's
I
like
do
what I
too.
always think back to.
He
Oh,
was
really?
the main love interest in Alias, sort
I've
of.
never seen that.
Yeah. I
Sort
know.
of until
Yeah, J.J. Abrams likes like mixing up. interest.
season 4, I think, when all that shit went stupid. Anyway.
Alias was a show that J.J. Abrams made. J.J. Abrams had a streak for a while where the first season of his shows were really good, and then they slowly declined. Lost was like that. Alias was really like that. Alias was, they set up this really intriguing world where these two like rogue spy agencies were against each other. They were recovering these artifacts from this ancient mathematician, and it was just like fucking awesome, and it was badass. Then to promote the show, what was it, ABC? ABC put an episode of Alias an hour after the Super Bowl. So they'll sometimes like stick shows that they want to promote heavily in that slot. And for whatever reason, to get new audience or to like make people think it was a really exciting show and stuff happens all the time, they wrapped up every story arc. This was like a season and a half into the show. And they wrapped up every single story arc on that Super Bowl episode. And then it was like they had to start the whole show over.
Not only
would they
did they
do
wrap
that?
up every story arc, but that episode in tone is totally different than every other episode. It's like
do they
Jennifer
think it
Garner's
was
like in
good
her
for, like-
brawn panties, and there's like this giant explosion and skydiving. It's like, What am I watching?
Is there a laughter track on it? That'd have been awesome.
It was so weird.
Did they
I
think
remember
that...
when I didn't watch it at the time. It was Aaron Burnie used to watch it. And then he's like, he told me, like, there's going to be an episode where everything changes. And I watched it and I was like, what the fuck was that? He goes, oh yeah, that's the episode.
Super cool episode.
Yeah.
Did they think that they would get like new viewers based on that kind of episode?
I guess like they're maybe trying to retool the series and make it like more.
Had every answer to every question in one episode.
Yeah. And then they introduced like, they just changed all the dynamics. It was totally different.
Shit.
Yeah, like that's her opening outfit in that episode.
Nice.
Yeah, she's basically in lingerie and like thigh-high stockings with garters.
I unintentionally spoiled a show for myself this weekend.
Yeah? What show did you spoil?
I started watching How I Met Your Mother on Netflix because I always heard that I would like it, and I'm just looking to watch whatever on Netflix. I recognized a character in the first season. Right now I'm on the second season. And I want to see who it was, so I went to IMDb, and I'm scrolling through the list, and I'm scrolling, and then I see so-and-so, the mother. And I was just like, well, fuck.
No,
Because
I don't think that's been revealed on that show. That might be total speculation.
the show's over now.
Is it over?
This is their final season. I think they only have a couple.
They haven't revealed the
episodes left.
mother on that show.
I don't watch it. I don't know.
Have they?
It said the mother.
Maybe it means something else.
Maybe. I hope so.
You don't know.
Is it a
really
good show?
hope so. I enjoy it, yeah.
I've never seen a single one.
It's I don't know how to describe it. Somewhere in between like Friends and The Big Bang Theory.
Man, fucking Kara's over here before we started the podcast. She's reading an upcoming project script. She's like, "Oh my god, so and so and so and so." I was like, "Fucking spoilers!" Like for something that we're working on.
Oh.
She's like, "Oh yeah, sorry."
Oh shit. You watched the show that she was talking about?
Yeah. I was like, "Jesus, I don't know."
Yeah, I intentionally spoiled that for someone in my office as well. Oops.
Do you like art?
Art?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's such a weird question to ask.
You can call it pretty much anything.
Producers
art, right?
filmed the climactic scene of CBS's How I Met Your Mother finale 8 years ago, fearing the actors involved would become unrecognizable and have kept it under wraps ever since. The Monday night comedy concludes after 9 seasons on March 31st with a 1-hour episode. And this story is dated January 17th, 2014.
Wow.
Go to IMDb now.
No, I'm not doing it. You almost fucking... I scrolled down, I saw a name.
So they filmed it 8 years ago.
What's that? Yeah, they filmed it 8 years ago.
Mental.
Yeah.
Are you watching it though?
Sort of. I watched that show on and off. I do like the show a lot. I like the Barney character a lot.
Yeah.
Barney character's hard not to like. I never really got the
Oh,
either of the other two characters.
I'm being told they revealed the mother at the top of this last season.
They revealed the mother top of the last season.
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm not up to date on it. So here I'm trying to avoid spoilers for something that's already been put out.
Like the first season of watching that show was spoiled. For me.
Yeah.
Great.
Sorry, bud. You never watched Breaking Bad?
Is that a
either,
very
did you?
story-driven show though? Like, does that destroy your experience?
Game of Thrones come back. Did we talk about that last week?
No,
Yeah, we talked
I don't
about
think it's ruining my experience. I still enjoy the show.
Yeah. Yes, we did talk about it, but
I don't
I
think
would love to talk about it more if you want.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. No, I think the mother character is not central, really. I think
It's more about the friendships between
Yeah.
the characters, yeah.
This is a journey.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, that show was like ranked 40th. It was like the number 40 show in America.
Is that bad?
That's not great. There's a lot of shows on TV now, though. But it set the record for the biggest deal in syndication for like a show at as many seasons as it had, like 4 seasons or whatever at the time. And it set like this record-breaking syndication deal. And it was only somebody saw that it was like, we're going to be worth a lot of money down the road. Like people would want to watch this show again and again. I guess in like the
Is that all the show hopes for? Is that they make 52 episodes and they're good?
Oh, it's a big part of it. A lot of shows want to make TV or movies as well.
What did you say? 52?
Yeah.
I thought the minimum for syndication was 100.
Oh, I
Am I off
thought it
base?
was a year's worth.
I've always heard 5 seasons, and that's 100 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fair play.
See, it's different lengths. The seasons in the UK are like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's like 52 episodes. Jesus, like a Doctor Who.
What were you saying about Breaking Bad?
Do you watch Breaking? Have you seen all of Breaking Bad? Okay, I thought you hadn't seen that.
No, I watched all of it.
You watched all of it.
The
I
guy
want to
has
go back to what we were
cancer.
talking about earlier too. We're talking about crazy scenes that are like not scripted. Spike Jonze was talking in a recent interview for her that in the movie Being John Malkovich, that the actor, you know the scene where Malkovich gets spit on the side of the freeway?
Yeah.
And he's all freaked out and he goes walking down the road and a car drives by him? That the scene where, or the bit where the guy leans out the window and goes, heads up Malkovich, and throws the can and hits him in the head, totally unscripted. The extra just did that on one of the takes and nailed Malkovich in the head.
Wow.
And when he screams, he's screaming because he doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, I thought the impressive thing behind that story was that they did it first take and it was real and it wasn't CG.
No, apparently the guy and they had to pay him as a result because he gave himself a line and they kept it in the movie. And so they had to give this like
Nice.
no-name extra
The kid's
credit.
got balls.
Yeah.
Jeez, can you imagine? Like,
Shit.
you're actually like, fuck it, man. I don't want to act anymore. I'm just going to
I
throw
mean,
a can at John Malkovich.
But who was micing him then? How does that happen?
Maybe
in
there's
the
a
movie?
boom.
Okay.
Or maybe they,
You know what,
they can
Gavin?
ADR it.
I was really skeptical of the story myself. Like, it just seems like that would be something. And I went back and watched the scene. And
It's a really cool shot as well because
Yeah.
it dings him in the head and goes straight up. It's like boom, boom. Amazing shot.
Well, it's like that pizza scene in Breaking Bad
Oh yeah, like one
when
take.
Walter throws the pizza and it lands perfectly on the roof. I think they were gonna have to try to do that multiple times or get someone else to do it. I forget the story.
Yeah, they
was,
said
but-
they were gonna. They had blocked off like hours for that shot.
Yeah.
And it would take forever to get
And
it.
he nailed it first try.
That's awesome.
Pizza roof.
okay, this is from crack.com.
So it's got to be true.
Reader beware. According to the commentary by director Spike Jonze, some extras sneaked beer onto the set and got pleasantly plastered. The scene called for cars to drive just past Malkovich as he angrily walks away. However, one of the extras forgot that he wasn't a jock in an 80s high school comedy and yelled out, "Hey, Malkovich, think fast," before lobbing a beer can at his head. Malkovich's surprised yelp of pain and subsequent cradling of his head amused Jones so much that he decided to keep the scene in the film.
You'd have a lot of guts to throw something at the back of John Malkovich's head.
On a set!
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Wow.
As part of a shot.
Like, yeah, in a vehicle, you're moving past someone.
He fucking nails him, too.
I'm surprised they didn't get fired right then and
So
there.
here's my issue with that then. Why did they shoot that shot? Was it just meant to be him walking?
I don't, maybe so.
It was like establishing that he was moving on.
I'm also very skeptical,
I'm
of
skeptical
this story.
of this thing.
Was that Spike Jonze's first movie?
Go to Snopes.
Well, he says it in the commentary, so it's up to anybody else to refute
Oh.
Okay.
Spike Jonze if he says it in the commentary.
That was a weird movie.
I liked it.
You did?
Yeah.
Everything on that weird and the weird building where everything's too small. I don't think I really understood the movie.
It was a half floor. The when I used to work downtown, like before Rooster Teeth, I worked at a building downtown. That building had a half floor. And
What
it was like,
it for? Just storage?
yeah, it's for storage, just like documents and
How does
stuff.
that
So
work?
it was like you would take the elevator. It was the 5th and a half floor. It's like you would take the elevator to the 5th or the 6th floor, and then you would take the staircase either half a floor up or down, and there was like a locked door in the staircase, and you had to have a key, and you could open it up and get in there. And just like the movie, it was like really, really short.
Why
You had to
not
like be like hunched over,
Why
going
not
everywhere.
just make it a full floor.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Was there like a limit on how high the building could be? It's like we need one more floor in here. Is that how
I
that
have
works?
no
put it in a
idea.
mini
why
floor.
that was-
In the movie, have you seen the movie? In the movie, they have to emergency stop the lift and then wedge the door open and get out on the
And they're on a
floor
half
between
floor?
floors. Yeah, and everyone's like, "Look, this walking."
It's like I'm confused why there are half streets in Austin. Like 38th and a half street. What does that mean?
It's between 38th and 39th. What's wrong with you?
Why don't they just make 38th and a half 39th street?
Why would they do that? It's not a full block.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just name it something else, I guess. Just
It's
like-
really confusing because, like, depending on where you are, like east of 35, it's 38th and a half street. Then you drive, and when you hit, like Red River, it turns into 38th Street. Then when you hit Lamar, it turns into 35th Street.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
even
like
more fucked
it's like
up.
you do not turn off of the street, but you go from 30th and a half to 38th to 35th.
What's weird to me is I don't know if they do this in all cities, where it's like 5th Street, 4th Street, 3rd Street. I almost lost count. 2nd Street, and then 1st Street is like this.
It actually goes east to west and then turns north to south.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I didn't
No.
realize there was an east to west.
No, you're talking about two different things.
Caesar Chavez?
Cesar Chavez used to be called First Street. That was First Street. You're thinking of South First, which is a different street.
Oh, that's not first.
That was not the original First. There is a South First, and actually First Street will cross First Street at one point.
There's also like a south 6th Street, like down by like the Old Torf area.
Yeah.
I've seen like South 5th, South 6th.
I feel like we're doing math right now and I don't like it.
Yeah, but South, you know what? Go to Atlanta, Georgia sometime. Every goddamn street name is Peachtree. I was at the corner of Peachtree and Peachtree to attend the Peachtree Film Festival at the Peachtree Theater. I was like, Matt, I gotta get the fuck out of this town. I can't stand this. This was our movie. We got in the Peachtree
Peachtree.
Film
It was
Festival.
peachy.
Yeah, Peachtree. Everything is Peachtree.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's I was having the same problem this last time we were
you
in
can't
Atlanta
put-
filming the immersion. I was fucking so fed up.
If you put south on the end of the street name,
Yeah.
it can't be a different street than the street name that you're talking about, though.
What do you mean?
I
What do you mean?
don't like this conversation.
Like Maine South?
South first?
Like Congress,
South.
It's South Congress. It goes before the name, not
yeah.
after.
South
Yeah.
negates a part of it.
but Congress is South Congress the same street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the south part of Congress.
I
Like,
think
Yeah,
he's getting.
but first isn't the south part of first.
well, like we're off Slaughter Lane here, and I don't tell people from out of town that we're off Slaughter Lane. because it sounds really fucking weird and Texasy. So I just tell people we're right off of South Laughter Lane.
I was laughing.
That's what I tell people. We just go down there, take a ride on South Laughter. But you know what confuses me in Austin? Because we have East 6 and we have West 6. Do you guys have the same problem that I do? When someone says East 6, what is that east of?
The highway.
East of Congress.
It's not. It's east of Congress, not east of the. I always
But they
think
don't
it's
call
the
it
highway.
East 6 east of Congress.
All
though.
the
Yeah, they
bars
do.
are on East 6. So like the Driscoll's on East 6.
If
I
I'm
only know
talking-
that because the old office I used to
It's
work at
so
was
confusing.
on East 6th. It was at the corner of 6th and Congress, and it was on East 6th.
Because
Oh, really?
When
Yeah.
I talk to people and we talk about going downtown, they say, "Do you want to go to 6th Street, West 6th, or East 6th?" There's like 3 different terms.
It does
they
seem like
use.
the freeway is the dividing line of East and West in Austin, and it's completely not. It's Congress.
I had no idea about
Well,
that.
I just learned
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah, Congress is the main street. Everything west of Congress is west whatever. Everything east of Congress, Congress is the main road. It runs right up
To the Capitol.
Yeah, to the Capitol.
That makes more sense then.
It's where we shot some of the scenes from
Well,
Day 5,
it's like Congress was there,
which we're working on.
you know, 100 years before the freeway was
Yeah.
there.
That.
So it's like that's why,
It's like the center of Austin.
yeah,
More
everything
information soon.
gets.
So is everything
that.
north of the Capitol like North Congress Street?
Yes, the Capitol is where.
'Cause I thought it
Congress
was where the river
turns
was.
North,
I thought it was like east or south of the river. Or sorry, north or south of the river.
not for Congress.
What about Lamar?
Lamar is the river
What?
because the Capitol's not by Lamar.
Okay.
What are you saying? I'm sorry. What are you saying here?
I'm saying that Congress is South Congress, south of the Capitol, but
Yes.
but Lamar becomes South Lamar, south of the river.
And North Lamar, north of the river.
All right, maybe. Maybe. Otherwise, it'd be like south of 12th Street, which doesn't make any sense.
Right, it's just arbitrary. At
It's
that
south
point.
of 1st is what you're saying.
Right,
South of 1st, which is south of the river.
right.
So, welcome to our international podcast discovering very specific local
I
geography.
hope someone was animating a map of Austin just then. And
Well, when
trying to
people
figure out.
come to Austin for RTX, they'll be
Yeah.
able to navigate themselves.
But yeah, we're doing you a favor, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
One of the things we didn't talk about last week that I had on my list of things I want to talk about was the fact that Google bought Nest.
for $3.2 billion. That's literally double the cost of YouTube.
the guy
Nest.
the guy who designed the iPod and the Nest, he must be pretty rich by now, right?
Yep, sure.
$3.2 billion?
Google bought Nest for $3.2 billion. Who has a Nest thermostat? I do.
I don't.
Who has $3.2 billion?
Google does.
Google
Can I
and
have
Apple.
Some of that?
Why, Gus? Why Nest? Why $3.2
I
billion?
think they want more data.
I think it's just data they didn't have.
Right. They want
Yeah.
to know how much power people are using to heat and cool their homes. It's just like more complete information. Can you imagine now that Google owns your Nest, if the Nest can detect if your AC is not cooling as well as it should, if you start getting more targeted pop-up ads like, hey, AC repair, or here's a $100 coupon off a new AC unit.
It's
I mean, it's
convenient.
just more data for them to
everyone's-
feed more targeted ads to you.
Everyone's worried about them spying and knowing every single thing about you. If it means that it's going to help me out, that's awesome. if a guy shows up to fix my AC, that'd be great.
You're saying that now. You're saying that now.
Are you paranoid about
No,
spying?
I'm just old, and I've lived through this stuff, and it's like I've watched like people go like, oh, we're fine, don't worry about it, and then watch like I sat through when the internet first started. This is making me sound super old. There were all these ISPs, internet service providers, and then all the cable companies and the phone companies. They made DSL and they made cable modems, and they were like $19 a month and $29 a month, and they priced all the ISPs out of business. And everyone was like, I don't care. I'm getting cheaper internet. What do I care? Then as soon as all the ISPs were out of business, whoop, up go all the rates, and this fucking service gets shitty as hell. And then they're turning all of our information over to the NSA. It's just like, you gotta be kidding me. I'll tell you who's in fucking trouble. Is Snapchat is in trouble. Did you hear they recently had an indictment where they turned over photos?
They leaked photos.
No, they did. They
Oh,
said
right.
Oh, I thought they leaked them.
they turned them over to the government because the government, there was like a subpoena. There was some kind of legal action. They had to turn over from a legal order. They had to turn over photos and content from Snapchat. And everyone's like, "Well, you said you don't save any of the information." They're like, I mean, it's like basically like, and this is a company. Didn't they turn down $1 billion from Facebook?
I think it was more than
and
that. I think it was like two.
they said their company was worth $3 billion.
Yeah.
And that's why they
shit.
didn't take the money. Which
not
also,
Nest.
it sounds stupid, but Nest just sold for $3.2 billion. And I remember when Fox bought MySpace for $500 million, and everybody was like, what the fuck? And there was this little competitor called Facebook. And they said, well, I wonder if Facebook will sell to somebody for $500 million. And the CEO, this 23-year-old kid goes, nah, we're worth $1 billion. Everybody goes, you're a fucking idiot. $1 billion. This kid will be nowhere in 2 years.
and
Sure
then
enough, he's a multi-billionaire.
A few years later, he turned down that $2 billion offer from Yahoo, saying they were worth more than that. And at that time, again, we were like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I think we wrote a fake press release saying we would accept $2 billion from Yahoo in exchange for roosterteeth.com.
It's worth it.
They didn't pull through for it.
Nah.
So yeah, I guess Snapchat was offered $3 billion, and they rejected it.
They were offered 3. How much did they say they were worth?
Let me see.
I want to turn down $3 billion.
I don't. I would take that fucking money.
Well, if you turn it down, you're obviously.
What would you
worth
do with
more.
$1 billion? Like, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Try and
Buy
climb.
an Aston Martin.
Put it all in cash and try and climb to the moon.
How big would that be?
Like a ladder of cash.
In 20s, maybe. Wait, how far's the moon? Quarter of a
Further
million
than $1
miles?
billion in 20s.
It's like 200 something thousand miles.
So the denominations of American currency, the highest denomination is $100.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. It's really weird. People think there's like
$1 million is tiny.
People think there's $10,000. Actually, it's not. $1 million is about this big.
Yeah, it can
It's
fit.
still
It can fit
smaller
in a
than what you would
backpack.
think.
You maybe could fit in the backpack. It's
Floyd
decent
Mayweather
size.
always has $1 million in a backpack.
I just want you to keep making that hand motion.
Just this. It's like this. $1 million. Watch me. I'm making $1 million. Now
size
I'm
of
up
a
to 10
baby.
million. Watch me go. But if you had a billion is 1,000 million. So you'd have 1,000 of those stacked up.
What?
Or if you want to stack like singles, like single stacks of hundreds.
Yeah.
The biggest stack you could have is 100 hundreds, which is a $10,000 stack. And there's in $1 million, there's where's my math on this? So there's
Wait, what are you trying to figure out? In ones
10
or
of those.
hundreds?
There's 100 $10,000 stacks and $1 million. I'm just trying to do my math here.
Could
So
it go the
1,000 of
entire
those,
length of First Street?
100,000. What?
38 and a half.
100,000. Imagine 100,000 stacks of money about that tall. That's what you're looking at. You're not getting to the moon with that. Fuck off.
Maybe if it's ones,
Okay.
then add another 100 times that.
Yeah, man, 100
Still,
times that.
I'm hesitant.
Uh,
It's far away.
Will not go to the moon.
Here, let me read. Let me read this.
Now
thing
with your
while
Snapchat stock, you
we
won't.
contemplate the moon. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by.
Have you ever seen?
Yes.
This is one of the most amazing. You know, like sometimes you'll drop something sweet and then ants will just be all over it and they'll just eat the crap out of it. I was once at school and
I'm learning it takes Gavin 20 minutes to pick something up, but go ahead.
well,
Like you drop it and it swarms.
Do you drop it into an
they're
anthill?
just all over it. It's like, wow, there's a lot of ants. I once watched a woman fill a vending machine and slam the door, but I think the lock was slightly out, so the door just went dong and like vibrated back open. And I watched like 4 people hear this. They turned around and were just like, and then literally probably 30 people were just like, and within a minute, everything was gone out of the vending machine. It was one of those amazing things I've ever seen.
It's like
in my
whenever
life.
we have food at the office on the kitchen table.
It was just a swarm and it was gone. It was like a time lapse of bugs eating a mouse.
You know, I gotta say, people, when given a sense of anonymity, will do the shittiest stuff. I mean, it's just like you wouldn't stand at the vending machine, and when somebody gets a bag of potato chips, you wouldn't grab it out of their hand and go, and then eat their chips.
You also wouldn't rob the woman who was filling it.
You wouldn't rob the one.
take
You're like, if
stuff out
she's
of her
like, if
boxes.
she's filling the machine, you wouldn't walk up and start grabbing shit out in front of her. You wouldn't do it. But if she leaves, and, oops, I made a mistake and I didn't lock it right. Fuck that bitch. Let's empty this thing out. Let's go.
It was
bystander
like,
effect.
It was like 2 cartoon characters fighting, and
How are they bystanders if they're stealing stuff?
It's similar to the bystander effect.
They
where
are the
there-
standers.
Where there's more people in a situation, there's less likely a person to help.
What?
Oh man,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Have
saying,
you not
but
heard
that's,
of the
that's
bystander effect?
no. That's like if somebody's like hurt and there's that other people assume someone else is going to help that person.
And
I
the
don't
more
have
people
to.
there are, the less likely.
That's a little different than like other people joining in and beating the shit out of
here,
the
it's
person.
like
did you
there's
see
just
that
as
awful
many
video
people.
from China about the bystander effect?
I have seen that.
What's the video?
Yeah.
I have seen that. It's awful.
We're not going to put this in the link dump, but this crazy man attacks a woman and stabs her 26 times while there's just people like just standing around
And
filming.
that's one video.
It's like in a mall somewhere.
And then like eventually like some dude comes up and scares him away, and it seems like he has an endless supply of water bottles in his jacket. Because he pulls a water bottle out, throws it at the dude. The dude like stands back, then he reaches in, pulls out another one and throws it. Then he reaches in, pulls out another one and throws it. It's like
And then after he does that, everyone else starts to like bully the guy away.
yeah.
But
She
it's
li-
only
she
after
lived,
the first guy.
but it's like it's super fucked up.
Yeah.
God.
Another example, like a more mundane version of that where people don't think anything is wrong. Obviously, people are going to think there's something wrong with that situation. You should try to help that person. But it's tough if you're going to get fucking stabbed. It's tough. I mean, I don't know how many people have actually been in a situation like that, but it's like when you have a chance to react quickly, sitting at your computer, watching it on screen and say, I would do this. Things happen really fast in a moment like that. Yeah. I mean, Bill Burr does a great thing about like crazy people, how we should all have basically a chloroform soaked rag in her pockets at all points in time. And if you're the closest person to the crazy dude, it's your job to take him out. And it's not like just like the guy in the bus who's like, the government, and he starts yelling. Then you're like, I got him. And you just like take him out. Because like you said, crazy people just get in a situation, they just dominate. Like when somebody goes to the post office and they just start screaming in the middle of the post office and yelling at everybody else. There was this thing I saw, I think it was from Korea, where a woman was going out of a parking garage and her complimentary ticket, like her what do they call it, validated ticket, didn't work, and it was trying to charge her. So she sat there for an hour and blocked the exit to the parking garage. And like they had to physically drag her away. The cops had to drag her away. Wow. She was throwing a fucking tantrum.
Because she had to pay?
Whatever. I don't even think they got that. I don't think she was that rational to explain like why she was doing it.
The deciding
she would kill that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You wouldn't drag him out of the car, though.
No. I'd kill him with my eyes, with my mind.
With your Prius.
I think if someone was wailing on a woman and stabbing her 22 times, I think whether I would help would determine whether I had something heavy in my hands. Like I wouldn't want to...
Water bottles.
I give you going after somebody with a knife, just barehanded.
If I was by a bin or something that I could just cave his skull in, I would do that. But I wouldn't go out with him with just my bare hands.
Yeah.
Like, I get stabbed and I get rabies or something.
I had self-defense lessons as a kid.
What, did you really?
Yeah, in our high school, we had 1 week of self-defense lessons for the girls' gym class.
Really?
Week?
Yeah, well, it was like a
probably
class
a week more than
every
you.
day.
Can I ask you,
like
can I
an
ask you a question?
hour-long
I'm not trying to
class
be.
for
I'm
5
not trying to
days.
be offensive in any way. I have to ask clarification. Did you go to a Jewish high school?
No.
Okay.
I went to a public high school.
That seems like a very Jewish thing. Like teach all the kids self-defense. I'm serious. It does. It seems like.
That's why the Israeli army is so good.
That's. I was going to ask you if it was like Israeli army tactics and stuff like
We'll
that.
learn Krav Maga.
Yeah, Krav Maga.
Gavin's
Take
beard
it
just jizzed all over his hands.
As it always does.
Without fail.
But I want to go back to something because we were talking about Nature Box. So the most egregious thing I see with like people like just like glomming on and like this is a victimless crime and they're fucking somebody over is I always see posts of people going, hey, look, I just filled up my gas tank for $4 because somebody entered in the price on a gas pump wrong. And instead of $3, they're getting gas for 30 cents a gallon. And they just fill up their car at 30 cents a gallon, basically. And then like other people like they notify their friends and other friends come and fill up too. It's like you just some local gas station guy because he made a mistake, a typo. You basically just ripped him off all day long.
Mm-hmm.
All these people did that. And it's just like unbelievably shitty. But everyone thinks it's totally fine to do that because it's anonymous and no one is standing over their shoulder.
If the place has made the mistake, it's their fault, right?
Yeah, but why'd you go in and tell them?
Why don't you go tell
Be
them?
like, hey, you did something wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
out there.
I would tell them.
Yeah. I feel guilty like if the cashier gives me like a nickel too much in change, I'm like, oh wait, hold on, no, this is yours. I can't imagine fucking filling up, ripping off 10 gallons of gas.
Yeah, what would you do if someone gave you change like a 20 instead of a 5 or something like that?
I probably wouldn't even notice. To be honest. I never check my change.
I don't count my change anymore either, honestly.
If you did notice, though.
I did notice once I had a discount of, I think 30%, and they applied it twice. And I looked at it, I was like, I'll take it. I didn't have much money at the time, so.
Yeah.
Like I've had it happen where I'm at the grocery store and they're scanning my stuff and I see they don't scan something. Like, hey, that didn't scan.
Oh, you were pulling it
They're
out.
like, what? They're like, yeah, that.
Such an
it
honest
didn't
guy.
Catch. I'm like, oh, okay.
There's
thanks.
a weird thing about that too. Have you ever worked in that kind of a job before?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a weird thing too. Like pointing it out is kind of oddly worse. Like especially if like their manager's right there. Like, oh, you gave me the wrong change. Then it's like, you know, as opposed to the register coming up like $1 short or something like that.
How often is the manager like right there though?
I know, but it's like one of those situations where sometimes I feel guilty of like kind of calling that person out too. Of like, oh,
Well, maybe you're doing the manager a favor.
yeah, you know, it's true. It's true. I mean, it's better than. I mean, it's like lesser of two evils in that case. I mean, if the person messes up, I guess they should be called out on it.
Our fans have been really honest. I've had people message me saying, hey, something went wrong. I didn't actually pay for sponsorship this month, but somehow I'm a sponsor. Like, what should I do? I'm just like, thanks for telling us. Keep it. Sure.
Say we need your address. We're sending the cops right now.
It's like they
Take
feel
yourself
so
to your
guilty.
local police station. We'll be in touch.
But the nature, is there anything in that nature box, by the way?
Yeah.
Because you have a box right next
Yeah,
to
do
you.
you want some?
Yeah, is there really something in there?
There's some.
There's
Oh,
3
I'm so
things
fucking
in there.
happy. Is there granola in there? Because I love the granola.
I think we're out of the granola. Let me see.
But like, we have a snack thing here at the office. I don't know about you guys, but like I can justify anything. Like when I'm sitting there and haven't had anything to eat, I can literally just say,
We got the pumpkin seeds. These are good.
yeah, bring it on. Oh, it's like, it's total. That's a great throw. It's totally fine if I eat an entire bag of potato chips. Like I can work it out in my head, and I know it's not.
Well, who doesn't eat an entire bag?
I don't. Well,
They're
you
like
know,
Have you
this
never
big.
seen the way Burnie eats chips? He'll take 1 or 2 out of it and leave the bag on the
The
table.
other day, I was
Or
really
crush it and
freaked
put in the
out.
garbage.
Something like really, really freaky happened here at the office.
oh, good.
I was walking by the kitchen, and there was a bag of Sun Chips there, and it was open. And I was like, oh, okay, Bernie opened a bag of Sun Chips and left them here. I pull one out, ate it. I was like, Bernie's in LA today. I was like, has this bag of chips been here for a couple of days, or or am I eating someone else's chips?
Did you
And
check the security footage?
I like this
I felt
established thing now.
really bad.
I like this as an established thing now where I will open a bag of chips, I'll eat 2 of them, and I'll put it on the communal table, and people know if that bag of chips is sitting there that I just didn't want to throw away a whole bag of chips. I just wanted to eat 2 of them, and then people will come and eat out of my chip bag.
Why do you want to just eat 2?
Sometimes you just want to like taste something.
I just want to say.
Yeah.
Can I?
Sometimes I
get
just
it.
want to feel.
We got to have an intervention with you, though, seriously, because you do something that's really cool for the podcast crew and cast every single week.
Oh,
You drive up to North-South Congress. You go to Home Slice Pizza, and you pick up pizzas every week.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Every fucking week, you pick up a margarita pizza. Nobody eats it.
Nobody ate it?
Why do you get
Nobody
the margarita
ever
pizza?
eats the
The
margarita
problem
pizza.
is,
It's all I
people always
it just
fucking
you?
ask for the margarita.
No, I had it. I had 2 slices.
Because you had to, or because you actually
Are there
like
2
it?
slices going on that pizza?
What?
Are there 2 slices?
How much pizza is missing from there, Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle, get us that pizza.
Kara and Kyle asked for the margarita.
I
for
had
the record.
nothing else. I just had 2 slices.
Oh,
Oh,
I
now
think
Kyle's
you did.
fucking these.
How many slices are missing from that?
Give me here. I'll show it off.
Yeah, bring it over.
It's the
It's
one
the
on-
other one.
The heavy one.
Yeah, it's the one with the most pizza in the box.
All right, here we go.
How many slices are left of the other ones, just for
It's fucking-
for
I almost
comparison?
broke my wrist when you handed this to
So
me.
you got also cheese and pepperoni.
That's
Look at
not the
this.
right one.
You're fucking jackasses. There is literally here. We got a close up on this. On my
Oh,
face.
Kyle's
There's
the one who-
one fucking slice missing. All right,
That's
I
not
tilted
the
it.
margarita.
I tilted it.
Yeah, it is. That's the
That's-
one he gets
That's a
every
margarita.
Oh, it is?
One.
What do you think
slice.
a margarita is?
One
and
slice
tomato.
is missing out of this pizza.
What's the other
Nobody
one?
eats this pizza.
What's the other one then?
There's a cheese pizza and a
Oh,
pepperoni pizza.
I thought you were talking about the cheese pizza.
Oh, right. This is their style of margarita pizza. I know some people call
Yeah,
that.
I don't. Nobody likes that one.
You're
You're
a
right.
true Italian. Nobody eats this pizza.
All right.
Although we love home slice pizza, nobody eats this
It
pizza.
should be called Don't
I
Pizza.
used to get the pepperoni and mushroom, but people didn't like that one. Then I switched to the sausage ricotta and
Nah.
meatball, and people didn't seem to care. What should I order as a third? Cheese and pepperoni are obviously easy.
Listen, I don't want to eat it anyway. I'm trying to not eat the pizza. But I'm just going to say nobody eats the margarita pizza.
How much pizza's left in the other ones?
It's so delicious. The cheese is gone and there's one slice of pepperoni.
Okay, fair play.
Speaking of errors people make and alerting people to their
I
errors,
was going to segue into this.
You want to talk
I
about
wanna
how
talk
you're a
about this.
terrible person?
I'm a bad person.
What'd you do?
I'm going to tell
I
a
love these
boring
kinds of
story
stories.
first to establish my action, and then tell the interesting story. So a couple weeks ago,
Anybody want a piece of pizza?
I went to go eat at a restaurant, and there was a wait. So
Public?
yes. So the restaurant was crowded. So this, in a typical Gus fashion, I went and waited in my car. But I noticed that there
Were
was
you
a
with
couple.
Esther?
Yeah, there was a couple in the car next to us, and they were waiting in their car also. And then I guess like their table came up, so they went inside. And after they went in, hey Barbara, give them that.
Yeah, I'm dying over here to get
I
After-
was listening to Gus's
After
story.
they
intently.
went in, I noticed that they had left their dome light on. I was like, oh, their battery's gonna die. So I went into the restaurant and I was like, I told the hostess, I was like, you should tell them that they left the dome light in their car on. She's like, okay. I was like, okay, good. I feel good about that. Total strangers, didn't know them, alerted them to the fact
You
that
think
dome
like
light's
you're a
on.
hero.
The other day,
Firefighters and you, right
the other day, I was giving Gavin a ride home. We were leaving the office and I was parking next to Jack. Gavin and I get in my car and I look over. I'm like, oh, look, Jack left his dome light on. And Gavin was like, are you going to go tell him? I was like, no, I hope his battery dies.
Oh my God!
And Gavin was like, what? Why? I go, it'll be a funny story on the podcast.
I was
and then
literally-
I just drove off.
I had my phone in my hand. I was about to text him, and Gus was like, "It'll be funny on the podcast." I was like, "I guess it will."
what you guys
That's
do for
awful.
comedy.
So I was like, don't say that. We haven't said anything. I was like, we'll just check Twitter later and see if his battery died. It didn't die. I guess he didn't leave it on long
Yeah, I don't
enough.
think he did. Either it
It
didn't,
has to
or
be
he.
on a really long time, doesn't it?
Not always.
Like over 24 hours?
I've seen Burnie kill some cars from. You killed the rental car when we went to do the rewind.
What happened?
The rental car died when we were in the desert
I don't know how that happened.
because you left the AC on.
No, I fucking didn't. I think your buddy Dan opened the goddamn door and then left the door open and the dome light killed it.
Either
How do you
way.
leave the AC on?
I didn't. leave
Yeah,
the
I'm not
AC
saying
on.
that. That's not.
If the car's off, you can't have the AC on.
Who the hell?
Ashley went to the car and she said that when she put something in there, the AC was running.
Tell me how the fuck that works.
I don't know how it works.
Were the keys left in the car too?
You don't need the key in the car. It was one of those.
One of those what? One of those
One of the ones
magical cars that runs the AC?
Your car doesn't need the key to drive it. You need it on you, right?
Still on.
Yeah, my car's different. I mean, I can turn. I mean,
Tesla.
it's not that. It's not. This car doesn't do that.
Yeah,
No cars do that.
my car doesn't need the key, but I can't turn the AC on unless the car's on.
Okay.
Wait, can't you start cooling your car before you're in it though?
I can, but I have to hit the button on my remote, and it stays on for like a minute and then turns off.
That's
Really?
my favorite part of your
You
car.
can do it on your remote. I have an app for it. So
Whenever we're going to lunch,
What's that like?
Gus
Living in
always
fucking
puts the
medieval
AC
So
on.
you would have happily. I mean, having a battery run out is a pain in the
It's
ass.
a
You need
pain in the ass.
You need to bother someone else. You need to get jump leads and all that crap. That would have hindered his day by at least half an hour, probably. And
But it
you were-
would have been
and you were
really
happy
funny.
to let that happen.
I thought
think that
if
is-
it's a funny story, if we can talk about it on the podcast, great. But
Here's why
it
it's funny.
didn't kill his battery.
it would have hindered Jack's day by half an hour, but everyone else in the achievement hunter office, it would have hindered all your days by about 2 hours because he would have complained about it for 2 fucking hours straight.
I like how you only give it 2 hours.
Yeah, it would have
That's
been.
an all-day event.
And then we would have got shrapnel because you'd come in here and you'd have bitched about Jack bitching about his dead battery all day.
Oh,
So I
Dilho
told
car.
Gavin, I was like, don't say anything. Don't fucking ask him if his battery died. Nothing.
You're a dick, by the way.
I'm a total
Have you ever
dick.
done anything like that to me?
When the first time we went to San Diego Comic-Con,
I knew this was going to be a con story.
we loaded up, I don't know if you remember, we loaded up your truck. We loaded up the trailer and you took the truck out there because we found out last minute we were going to be there.
Yeah, Jason and I drove out.
And we're taking off from Austin in, July. It's really hot.
Hot as shit.
You all get in your truck, and I'm like, wait. I stop you. I'm like, hey, I just want to say, drive safe, be real careful. Well, I'll see you out in San Diego.
What, you his
And
mom?
while I was doing this, I was turning on the seat warmer for his seat, and I turned it on to high.
That's the worst feeling too when the seat warmer's on, you don't know why, and you're like, feels like you're pissing your pants.
I closed the door. He drove off, and then like 5 minutes later, he called me. He's like, "You fucking asshole."
That's what I used to do all the time when I was in high school. I would be talking to my friends, and when we get to a stoplight, I'd talk to my friends, and I'd put their car in neutral because they had like the shift on the floor, and I would just push it up into neutral because you don't have to do anything, you just push it into neutral. That freaks people the fuck out because
What, when
they take
they
their
rev?
foot off the brake, and they hit the gas, and the car goes, it doesn't go anywhere, and they just freak out. I almost got killed doing that once because the guy looked down and he immediately throws it in the drive while he's still ramming.
Oh,
yeah, we took off.
Blast off.
Yeah,
Such a jerk.
yeah, that was
Don't
pretty
mess
shitty.
with people while they drive.
So
You
you
should
weren't
mess with me like
suspicious that he was telling you, have a nice time, drive safe. You weren't suspicious from that.
And this was old angry Gus.
I probably was.
What's now, Gus?
Gus isn't as angry as he used to be. Gus was.
You're
much
pretty
angrier back then.
pretty laid back and chill. You're
I'm laid
actually
back.
you're getting more normal.
Yeah.
You're just like
Normal.
a normal dude.
Except that I don't go outside and I don't interact with people.
And you let people run
Did
the
you see
battery
my
down.
my new decoration for my office?
No.
I
Oh, I
gave,
saw
No?
Barbara tweeted
I
it.
gave myself an autograph photo of me.
God damn, dude, really?
He came down
Put it on the
looking
wall
for
behind
push
me.
pins.
I wrote to my biggest fan.
There it is.
What is that picture from?
That was a great zoom.
John Reisinger saw that photo on my desk. I guess that someone had sent it to me. And John was like, "You should put this on the wall behind you." I was like, "Absolutely." And I got a silver Sharpie and I autographed it and put it
Did
on
you
the wall.
see? Did you see what the lads did to John Reisinger's desk when he moved his
Yeah.
desk upstairs?
Did y'all film that?
No, I took a picture though. It was full of post-it notes.
RT Live.
He also totally hasn't found all of them yet. I've checked.
Nice.
Here,
Good to know.
I'm gonna eat all these.
Those are
So
good.
I was thinking, how some
want the
people
ones in my
paint?
hand,
They draw pictures on the earth by tracking their running route. Have you ever seen that?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, I've had
There was
that
that-
picture tweeted at me probably
There was
300
that girl on
times.
Reddit who did boobs and a dick and
Yeah.
a vagina.
I was thinking that a lot of artists get away with a load of stuff because it's art. Like you can apparently chop a shark in half and preserve it and just call it art.
Is this
Like,
your question to me
Damien
like
Hirst
half
did.
an hour
Yeah,
ago?
that was a good one. But I realized the most morally wrong art that you could possibly do would
Most
be
morally wrong art.
so say it's like connect the dots on the planet, right? You're drawing pictures based on points, and each point would be a kid that you had in that city. Would that be the worst form of art? Say I drew a space invader, but each point had to be I had to go there and have sex with a woman, and she had to give birth to a kid, and then you move on to the next one. And over the course of your life, you become a prick for doing it, and you're an artist.
That's pretty bad. So you're not just talking about having kids.
I can't believe you're entertaining this.
No!
You're talking about abandoning children, basically.
Yeah, you just have a kid and move on.
But
You're
Bernie,
you know,
it's
like,
for
how people's-
art.
How people's parents run away and stuff.
That's I really would be hard
And-
pressed to think of something shittier than that.
Yeah, and you'd be like 50, and you'd be like, "Hey, I drew a space invader on America."
Or you drew a giant dick.
Yeah, something even worse. But that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty
But
terrible.
it'd probably be okay because it's art.
Art. It's true.
The culmination of that would be to get all the kids together, like when they're 30. Get them all
Get
in
them
one
all to
room and
play
tell them.
Space
And just tell them.
Or you give them a framed picture of it. And be like,
Gavin
"Look."
just said, have them play Space Invaders. You even took it to an even worse level.
Is that worse?
Yeah, it's way worse. Yeah, but having to explain it to him, that would be terrible. Like,
How many points would that be?
Space Invader?
Probably be like good few, like 40 kids or something.
Yeah,
Would it
probably
be
at least
that many?
30 or 40.
Yeah, wow.
It's a complex shape. You also want all the details in there.
It depends
Well,
how dedicated of an artist you
gotta
are.
hand to the internet. They're coming up with way worse stuff that I don't want to read.
Oh, let's
Way
have one.
worse.
Let's have
Yeah.
one.
Let's sample Twitter.
Is
No.
there a more morally wrong form of art than
Yeah.
drawing with kids?
Yeah. They're coming up with way worse stuff.
So,
I really want to hear one now.
It all has to do with kids, but yeah, it's worse.
so one of the other things I wanted to talk about last week was the data breach at Target, how it affected, I guess, 110 million people now.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another story today about the credit card
How much
breach.
money was lost in the Target breach?
I don't.
And who
oh,
gets that?
This just crashed.
I think it's a coincidence they had a big breach and then Google buys Nest for $3.2 billion. They
But did you
put
hear
it on
about
everybody else's credit cards.
Did you hear about the South Korea data breach today?
No.
Where 40% of the South Korean population's credit cards were compromised.
What?
What?
I guess like one of their credit agencies, like that monitors credit, stores all of that information, and a
Good
contractor
God.
who worked there just stole it all. And
What
so
percent did you say it was?
40% of the country. It was their credit cards, social security numbers, date of births, and addresses.
So the
Fucked
country's
up.
ruined then.
Yeah.
40%.
40% of the country's ruined.
That's
Shit.
fucking crazy.
Did you hear about the Bitcoin heist? Did we ever talk about that?
The Bitcoin heist.
Somebody, over the course of a weekend, stole $100 million of Bitcoins.
How?
One of the largest heists in Bitcoin history is happening right now. 96,000 Bitcoins, that's approximately 60 million pounds, as at the time of this writing, are being taken from accounts of customers, vendors, and administrators of the Sheep Marketplace. They basically put up false fronts so everybody could see their accounts, and they're just like raking them in the back end. And it was like going on over the course of the weekend. They couldn't stop it.
Oh, so people are doing it. Well, how did they get people's information?
I don't know.
They enter it themselves?
I have
like
no
phishing?
clue. I mean, I just remember what was going on, and this was posted on a website with no dates.
And that could all be held on a hard drive.
Yeah.
I like that. There's 60
On
million
your
or
mobile phone.
something. Yeah, on a thumb drive.
They have a $100 million
The,
hard
the,
drive.
the idiots that robbed the train had to bury all the gold, right? In the Great Train Robbery or something?
Did
What
you
did
guys
they steal?
Did you guys see the Bill
Put
Murray
it on their iPhones.
AMA that took place on Reddit this weekend?
Did not
Yeah, I
read
didn't
it.
read it, but I saw he did one.
I didn't. I saw somebody did some highlights from it, and he's doing it for a movie that's coming out-
Monuments Men?
Monuments Men, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about how in doing research for this movie, came across the story of these guys that they were looking for an art heist, like there was art that was stolen, and while they were looking for that, they got into a cave that had been sealed by the Nazis, where the Nazis had put 100% of the gold reserves of Germany. And that's essentially what ended the war with Germany, because then nobody would give them any more credit or like sell them rubber or oil or anything like that.
Because all of their gold got
It was in
stolen?
possession of the Allied forces at that point. 100% of their gold.
Wow. I can't believe you put that all in one place.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've never heard that story before.
Yeah.
And that it took like up until 1996 to redistribute like all the assets of the Nazi regime to all the people they took the gold from.
I believe a lot. I mean, obviously it's not Nazi gold at this point, but I believe a lot of
I'm mixing two different stories here, by the way. Those are two different things.
okay, a lot of Germany's modern day gold reserves are held. I want to say in the United States. I think in New York, like the gold that backs their currency, and it's like a weird. It's a weird thing where they're not allowed to see it. They just have to take our word that we still have it in a vault for them.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's Germany. I'll have to read. It's been like a year or two since I read that story,
Take
but
our
it's
word
it's
for
stored
it.
like in a Federal Reserve Bank in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street yet, you guys?
No, I gotta see it.
I have not seen it.
I feel like I've seen all the movies I want to see except for Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, you should see it.
I need to catch up on that one.
Yeah, there's a whole bit in there where he has a Swiss banker. I'm not giving anything away, and that's like such a weird like shell game of trust, of just like because it's Switzerland, you just hand over all your money and they give you a number. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, I got my number.
We recently, Gus and I figured out how much it would cost. We have a little fake Tower of Pimps that moves around after each Let's Play, whoever wins it.
Yeah,
And if we were to make, to that scale, like maybe 1 inch by 1 inch blocks of gold, and we were also going to take the obsidian block and have that gold as well, but just paint it black. If we were to do that
Why?
with real gold,
okay, go ahead.
I think it would cost like $62,000 or something to have a real inch Tower of Pimps.
Yeah, well, 4-inch because it's. Or
Did we say that we're going to do 5 and
Yeah.
then the gold?
Yeah, 5.
Shit.
At my old job, I thought it would be funny to buy a gold bar and have it as a paperweight on my desk, and people would know it was actually. No one would ever assume that was real.
That's what I was talking about doing with this little Tower of Pimps. It'd be funny if my savings was some crappy thing on my desk that nobody knew that was.
That gets passed around from person to person every week.
But I at the time, and this is my previous career, I thought it'd be funny, so I priced out what that would be. At the time, a gold bar, like you see in the movie, was $140,000. I had no idea it was that much. I was like, oh, well, that would be a funny joke. I'm never going to do that in my life.
Yeah.
And that was years ago. I don't know what that would be worth today because gold has gone up like 5-6x since then.
So, like I'm reading here, it was Germany I was thinking about that wants to repatriate their gold reserve. The New York Fed Bank has 23% of the world's gold bars. It has Germany's gold reserves, as well as the Netherlands and a bunch of European nations.
It'd be wicked to work there.
23% of the gold bars in the world are in one bank. That's the plot to the third Die Hard movie. It is, isn't it? Yeah. Wow, thanks, Kyle. Kyle on the spot over there. I was going to say, if you're going to rob a bank or if you're going to rob something, that's the place you rob.
You wouldn't get any.
Duly noted.
23. I mean, no, you wouldn't do that. That's an awful thing to say or even think of.
Can you easily destroy gold?
What do you mean destroy?
Like, could you release something in
throw
there
in a pit of lava
that like dissolve gold or like ruin gold?
Heat?
Yeah, but you can heat gold and it's still gold.
Yeah.
Like chemical reaction that makes it not gold.
I don't know. I think it's non-reactive, isn't it?
Oh, it's not. Okay.
I think.
Fair
I
play.
have no idea.
It'd be, colossal if you could just ruin an entire gold supply. It's like, oh, this isn't worth anything now.
Yeah, that would fuck up the world economy. Yeah. That's like some supervillain shit. That's like the plot to like a James Bond movie.
Would all the other gold become really valuable?
I guess. Yeah, it's like you buy a bunch of gold and to make it valuable, you destroy all the other gold. I think that's totally like a superhero movie.
Actually, that's the plot of Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, yeah. That's the plot of Goldfinger.
Oh, Goldfinger?
Yeah, he's trying to blow up Fort Knox or something.
All right, well, we're out of time. We got to wrap this up.
Wait. I got to get some facts here I want to go over real quick.
Some facts. The fact check portion of the podcast. For the first time in 5 years, we're doing facts.
This is fucking weird. Okay, so this is from the U.S. Mint.gov website. It's facts about Fort Knox. I was trying to look up how much gold bar would cost today. Amount of present gold holdings by the U.S. is 147 million ounces. That's what they own. Only gold has been removed for small quantities to use to test the purity of it. The gold is held at a book value of $42 per ounce. That's what the value of the U.S. gold reserves are set at $42 per ounce for however million ounces I said. That's the book value. The actual value of gold today is $1,200 per ounce. And we're holding it at a value of $42 per ounce.
What does that mean? What's the difference?
That's probably when we put it in the reserve. It probably went for $42.
That's what book value is.
So it's like that's what it's accounted for.
How many ounces is the gold bar?
It's an accounting term. So you have book value of something, and then you have the market value of something.
So what's the math there? Is it how much money is in there?
So let me do the math on the book value versus what our gold reserves are worth 30 times what we say they're worth, basically. Our accounting for what our gold reserves are worth, if we sold all the U.S. gold reserves today at market prices, assuming we get all market prices for all the gold, which we couldn't, it would go up 30x.
Yeah, I mean, once you start selling that volume of gold, you think you drive the price of gold down significantly.
But that's a huge discrepancy.
It's interesting when you hear about a company just selling. Imagine a country just selling like that. America just sells.
Sell all its gold.
Yeah.
$3.2 billion.
So how much did you say how much money that is? You just look confused.
I'm trying to look at it. It looks like million. It's 176 400,000 millions. I don't even know what that is.
Wait, what? Do it again?
Millions?
So that's $176 trillion of gold.
So that's what it's actually worth, or is it worth 40 times that?
That's what it was. We have 147 million ounces. Market price today was about $1,200, like $1,250. So 147 million ounces. I did 1,200 times 147. I got 176,400. So 176,400 times a million.
You could climb to the moon on that.
Yeah, you could.
So that's 100. That's 176 trillion?
$1 trillion of gold that we have. But we're
rich.
America.
But we're holding it. Hold on one second. We're
You
holding
couldn't
it
fit
at a
that in a
value.
backpack.
We're holding it at a value of
42.
6 trillion.
You look so shocked.
Yeah, because 6 times
I think
30
it solved
is about
the U.S.
180.
debt crisis by like a factor of like
We had
80.
it all along.
That's like,
fucking
did we
nuts.
look between the couch cushions? Because we have the money there.
So if you were selling such large volumes, the value of gold would be changing as you were selling it, right?
Right.
Could you just be like, "Ugh," and have it all at once? Or would you have to do it in stages?
You'd have to find people to buy it. And then as they're buying it, it's getting cheaper and cheaper.
Oh, my joke got a little more expensive. A gold bar today would cost approximately $500,000.
Holy
One
fuck.
gold bar now is worth $500,000.
You gonna do it?
How much does a gold bar weigh?
No. What are you gonna do? Can I live in it?
500,000
Put a
divided
fucking
by
door on that
1,200?
thing. Holy cow.
So like
6.
400 ounces is what a
Yeah,
gold bar weighs?
you got it right. It's 400 ounces.
Yeah.
Does anyone keep
I don't know.
keep gold inside themselves?
Fillings?
People have
Yeah.
teeth, gold
You have
teeth.
fillings?
But can you? Like, is there anywhere in your body you can just store something? Like if you get a spleen out,
You can
can
shove it
put-
up your anus.
Can you put gold there?
You could replace your hymen with it. Thanks for joining the Weekend Podcast. We'll be back next week.
There's
We're
a
back
sale.
on Wednesday with another episode of The Patch.
There's a sale in the Australian store.
Oh, there's a sale in the Australian store. We did a video for Australia Day.
Yep.
So if you live in that part of the world, enjoy.
How much
Yeah.
gold do you have?
And we'll see you on Wednesday for another episode of The Patch and next Monday with another episode of RT Podcast.
Bye. I love you.
Bye.
I need to wash my penis.